red, blue, purple light. Friends, red, blue, purple light. Friends, facts, red, blue, purple light. Friends, red and blue, purple light. Friends, facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Yes, yes. Peace to the universe, peace to the family, peace to you and yours, peace to you and yours. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Sacrilegious Sundays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for this afternoon. All right. Soon to be joined by my guest, Brother Blue Pillar. You dig? So let me know how we sound on the audio. Let me know how we sound on the audio. All right. And that tune that you just heard, Mondem said that that's a big tune. You know what I'm talking about? Big tune. That right there is the Facts remix. The Facts remix by the 44 Tops. You feel me? By the 44 Tops. I would say that has to be the hardest song that I heard all year. Shout out to Kendrick and all of you other niggas, but you know what I'm talking about? That's it right there. The Facts remix. That was that knock right there. You know what I'm saying? Timeless. All right, timeless. And if you want to get that song, make sure you go ahead and hit the buy me a link or buy me a coffee link. And by going to the page, you will be able to claim that song as yours just by supporting. You know what I mean? It's already locked in. Any supporter that we have, anybody who has ever bought us a book or bought us a coffee, you could retroactively go and get that song and put that song on your phone, on your playlist, however you consume music, that's yours. You know what I mean? And the song is tweaked to 432 hertz. It is underlaid with a healing, quote unquote, vibe. A healing frequency is inserted. That's why when you hear it, you feel so good. So we're going to be doing more music like that, more tunes like that moving forward. Shout out to the 44 Tops, and definitely look out for the release of our EP that's coming very soon as well. The 44 Tops EP is on the way. Maybe Santa Claus is maybe Black Santa finna drop that one off. You never know. You never know. This month is so packed because, you know, time has been going like super fast. Like this month right here, this might be my most busiest month ever. I promise you. It's almost like, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. Watching the 30-day stream, the mafia Thon with Kai Cenat and what some of these creators are doing, it inspired me to do more. I'm like, shit, I ain't doing enough. You know what I'm talking about? Like one lecture, you be thinking you doing something. Like, nah, these young niggas is running, you know, they doing things. You know what I'm talking about? Like, they're active. So I was inspired to step it up and to really, like, you know, go hard, pause, because it ain't how you start the race, it's how you finish it. And the best way that I could say thank you to the people, the best way that I could give my honors to my audience and whatnot is by teaching and by creating new content, because I'm a content creator. I don't, you know, I can't give out hugs and whatnot because I can't catch up to all of y'all. So the best way that I could honor my contract is by doing more. You know what I mean? Especially in what they call the YouTube universe, because shout out to Black Magic, shout out to Urban X, but it's only a few of us. It's not like this space is saturated. There's not a lot of good content out there. There's not a lot of good content creators. It's not like the space is saturated. It's actually a lack of us. And then there's a whole bunch of other shit that's out there that I don't necessarily, you know, I don't partake in all of that. You know what I mean? It doesn't do much for my soul. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feed my intellect. I actually, I might have been getting dumbed down over some of the years rocking with some of these channels. I was scaling, I was almost dialing shit back, because if you giving time and your eyeballs to content and content creators that are not challenging your intellect, and they're not adding on to your path, to your collective consciousness, they're actually taken from you. So I personally was getting robbed of my time and my energy throughout the years and whatnot, not realizing that I was in places where I don't belong. Like in real life, you're not going to catch me in a certain type of an event with certain type of people, because I value myself too much to even be amongst these people in these spaces and whatnot. So if you won't see me with a certain type of people, if you won't see me kicking it with a certain pedigree of people, I'm not finna do that on the internet either. I'm not finna do that on the internet either. You know what I mean? I'm gonna stay true to my morals online and offline. So I'm not about to argue with no nincompoops. You know what I mean? In real life, I would just walk away from you. In real life, I would just be like, talk to the hand. In real life, I would close the door and roll the windows up. So on the internet, I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna cut your ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna unfollow. I'm going to put you in a place where you'll never be around me and whatnot. If we was in a barbershop, because I equate what I do on Instagram to being in the barbershop. I engage. You know what I mean? If I was in a barbershop, I'm waiting for a cut. Somebody say one of the barbers say some shit that I agree with or disagree with. We're gonna start getting loud and whatnot. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk crazy to each other. I'm from Brooklyn. We talk wild crazy, mad crazy to each other. So I'm on Instagram. I'm gonna talk crazy to you. You know what I'm talking about? I don't give a fuck if it's. I don't care if you're a they, them, he, she, whatever the case is. We in a barbershop on Instagram. Just be very clear about that. Maybe Instagram more so than YouTube and whatnot, because it's different. The interaction is different. But if we was in a barbershop and you started talking greasy, I'm not gonna get physical, because I'm a mature man. I'm a grown man. I don't fight people. I don't put hands on people. But if you getting greasy in a barbershop, it's, you know, we so you're gonna get blocked. You know what I mean? You're gonna go to the block party, or currently we call it the blockchain, and I'll never hear from you, see you ever again, because to be honest with you, there's nobody online, not one human being that I have to follow or I have to listen to. I've determined that no one on the internet is that important to me. You know? So you could be going quick, fast. never to be seen again, scraped from the walls of existence. Like, I don't know who you, don't even, your name is to never be mentioned. That's how I move with it, to keep my mental sanity and my health intact. So let me not talk you out of death. I got my guest in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Without any further ado, I bring to you none other than your brother, my brother, Pope Pablo.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
There you go with the all white on. Wipe me down. Wipe me. That boy clean. Wipe me down.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
That's what's up.
Indeed. Had to get right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Asian, peace, love, and light to the family. It's your brother Pope Pablo, live and direct.
Okay. Got the Pope in the building.
Yeah, Mineral Ministry, me, Sacrilegious Sundays.
All right, it's a clash. What we doing?
Nah.
Not a clash. Not like that. I'm a merger. Yeah, a merger. Somebody called you cleaning the cocaine bear. Oh no, cocaine blue. There you go. My man.
I like that. I like that. I like the way this is going. Yes, indeed.
My man, 50 grand. They said they love the white though. You know, they was missing the Popington fashion.
Hey, you know, we had to just tap into the, you know what I'm saying?
That part.
Time pause for it.
That part. Yeah, niggas is on the run in Damascus. You gotta, Pope guys come outside for that. You know what I mean? Biblical times we are in. Pope gotta come outside for that.
Road to Damascus, you know? Road to Damascus, good brother.
The road to Damascus.
We in them times. So I don't know if you did your roll call and everything that you do.
Nah, I didn't.
Yeah, warm it up. Do your thing.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gods and goddesses, Moors and Moabites, you know what I mean? Let's go ahead and do the roll call, see who is in the building. You feel me? Let's see who is in the building.
Yes, sir.
Everybody tap in. Peace from the Arizona, the AZ family.
AZ family, piece of the AZ family.
Yeah. You got ties in AZ, right?
Yes, indeed. Shout out to AZ. Shout
out to the Toronto family. You know, that's where that balloon popping show be taking place with the lady.
Toronto? Oh, yeah, they're in AZ. Yeah.
Nah, they in AZ. Yeah. I didn't even know AZ was moving like that. It's news to me.
AZ moves, yeah.
I thought it had scattered brothers and sisters. Like they got real Negroes.
They're concentrated in Phoenix.
Somebody told me that Arizona, for Chicago people, like Arizona is their Atlanta.
I was meeting a lot of people from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and things of that nature, like all cold climate regions, Detroit.
Right. That's that whole run though. Detroit.
Yeah, the Midwest. Shout out.
The Midwest,
I did meet some Chi-Town steppers. They was out there handling their BI. Shout out to the Chi-Town family. They know who they are. Yeah. Watch the program. So yeah, you know, those cold regions, they pop out of AZ, which is, you know, the exact opposite.
Right. I think it's something with the highway or some shit. Something connects them. But they up in AZ heavy. Nashville in the building. South Carolina in the building. 954 in the building. We got Greensville in the building. Durham in the building. Virginia in the building. Bmore in the Bmore. Bradenton in the building. West Los Angeles. DMV. All right. The County of Kings. Hannah. We got Chi-Town. We got Flatbush. BK Gaza Gully. Yeah. Talk about it. Bmore in the building. Oh, I might have some good news for the Bmore family very soon. Y'all stay intact. DMV, the DMV as well. Lake Charles, we got Norfolk. You know what I mean? The Wild Hundos, Chicago, Virginia. You talk to the Norfolk people?
I haven't followed up.
Okay.
I ain't getting
San Antonio.
Shout out to Norfolk, though.
We got Lenox and Fifth Ave. Okay. UCLA. Peace from warm and sexy Florida. Talk about it.
I ain't talk that shit.
Talk that shit. Bogota. Brat. Bogota. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you international, my
Is that Daniel Montan? Is that Montoya, the nigga that fixed the teeth? Shout out to my Colombia family. Yo, I'm racing. I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling these international global vibes lately. Like, you know, like I've been sharing a lot of videos on Thailand and places. Like, I'm just feeling this inclination to get up and travel a little bit, like the whole family type shit. Let's pack the whole family up and start moving around. That's the energy these days. Greensboro in the building, Charlotte in the building. We got Vegas, we got Decatur, where it's greater.
Where it's greater.
Goddess Teresa, we're gonna make some announcements. I'm gonna need you to spread the word. I need a street team out here. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things going on with me and Blue for the month of December and moving forward. So, you know, we need we need street team. Boston in the building, or we just need our GA family to pull up to these events that we got rolling out, because we're gonna be very active.
Yeah.
Nebo, North Carolina. Nebo, never heard of that. Louisiana, Norfolk, Memphis, North Carolina. Man, the NC is deep. Winnipeg. Yes. So y'all outside. I appreciate that. Shout out to everybody, man. Baton Rouge.
Shout out to the Rouge.
Yeah, the Rougington. Detroit, what up, though?
What up, though?
Yeah, what up, though? Do y'all like this format, or do you like the vertical? I want to know from my audience, because I've been trying different approaches and whatnot. I do like the vertical. When you're on your phone and you press the video, it takes up with the whole phone. And when people are watching it this way, they got to turn it that way. So y'all let me know how y'all like the videos coming through, and we will, we'll adjust.
Make the adjustments.
We'll make the adjustments and whatnot. They say this one personally. Okay. All right. Real-time voting system. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Real democracy.
All right. Okay. You can't play in the background on vertical. They like this. Hey, Mikey, they like this.
Dope.
All right. I like this format too. This is my preferred format.
Nothing better than real-time engagement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Idea of how the people feel.
Yeah.
See what works.
Yeah, it should look crazy on Obama phone, right? On the Kamala phone. Biden communications. Chicago in the building. What up, Chicago? I heard it's cold as polar bear nuts out there. God darn it. Man, I don't know how y'all do it. For real. Anything you want to share with the family? That video that we did on Friday, it's doing its numbers. A lot of people were like feeling the energy. You know what I'm saying? I was getting a lot of comments and inboxes. But yeah. Okay. Anything you want to share?
As opposed to what? We starting the show, or you getting my thoughts and my sentiments? What we doing?
Just anything. It ain't no trick question.
I'm just ready to have a discourse. Yeah, I'm in the building.
Oh, that part. Yeah, so let's get into it. It's Sacrilegious Sundays, ladies and gentlemen. A lot going on in the news and whatnot, leading into this new strong that we got coming up. Let's get right into the story of the day. You know what I mean? I don't want to kind of like beat around the bushes and whatnot. From a biblical standpoint, right? Give me some culture, some context about the importance of Syria And for those who be like, why does Syria always pop up in my timeline? What's so important about Syria? You know, what is this whole serious thing about? You know, the Syrian thing, can you give us some insights from a biblical, from a Pope Pablo's perspective?
Well, from a from a religious perspective, in terms of Christianity, the role that Syria has to play in the Christian narrative is a very integral one because of Damascus, right? And Damascus, which is the capital of Syria, of course, became the turning point in this latest conflict. The rebels advanced on Damascus, and Assad had to flee. It was once said, as part of biblical lore, that when you see bombs dropping in Damascus, that's a signal of the end of, a particular age or a particular time. You know what I'm saying? That's always been a prophecy. That's always been something that, people have been mindful of. Damascus, the saying on the road to Damascus, it speaks about the transformation of Saul to Paul when he had the religious when he had an encounter with a spiritual apparition on the road to Damascus. So prior to that, Paul was Saul, right? And these are different interpretations, right? You mentioned the word or the name Paul, which etymologically means several different things.
Right.
It means small, it means horse, it means stone in some interpretations. And in Hebrew, it's mentioned Saul, and I believe in Greek it may be either one. Greek is Paul and Hebrew is Saul. Either which way, it's an interpretation. These are different interpretations for the word Paul or the name Pablo. Pablo is the Spanish version. Pueblo is the Portuguese version. Saul is probably the Greek version, and Paul is the Hebrew, right? Okay. Nonetheless, this individual who was a Roman general was a persecutor of Christians initially, right? He was forcing them to convert, right? When this was at the onset of quote unquote Christianity. So in 44 AD, which is 44 years after, and again, all of this according to the narrative.
Right.
I'm not attempting to sit here to parrot world history. This is the way that the narrative is explained according to what's called Pauline Christianity, which is the dominant form of all Christianity, falls under what's considered to be Pauline Christianity, because without Paul, there's no Christianity. Indeed. Without true supernatural occurrences, both of them identical, there's no Christianity on the form of it today. So first you have Pauline Christianity, which came from Paul by way of his conversion as a Roman general. And this is very key, right? On the way to Damascus, he was a persecutor of quote unquote Jews and Gentiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has an encounter with a spirit, an apparition, right? On the road. It blinds him, gives him scales.
Damn.
Okay. So, but let's think about this astrologically, right? The scales are Libra. He gets blinded, right? So then you got to go and see, well, what particular sign coincides with the eyes. And then when the scales fall off after 3 days or somewhat, then he regains his sight, but he's transformed, Scorpio, into a new person named Paul, right, who is now a defender of Christians. So he does an entire 180-degree flip, right?
Right.
And flips on his handlers, flips on his assignment, like he was Jason Bourne prior to that.
He was a shooter.
He was a shooter. He was the shooter. He was the shooter of shooters. He was the number one mercenary.
He was YSL Woody.
He was YSL Woody, right? Then he turns state and he flips on them. You know what I'm saying? And he starts spinning for Fanny. That would be the comparable narrative.
Damn.
To what? Yeah. So he becomes a state hitter for George Kemp, for Governor Kemp.
For Governor Kemp and Nathan Wade.
Whoever got beef with the state of
Whacking niggas
Georgia,
for Fanny. Yeah,
whacking niggas for Fanny. That
Yo,
would be.
Stacey,
And
yeah,
then,
but pull up.
they
Who
get a
you got
10.
drop?
They got a 10
Who on your
Fanny
list?
face that. This would be tantamount to that, right?
That's crazy.
So Damascus again is that pinnacle. It becomes a metaphorical saying. When you're on the road to Damascus, it means you're going through a drastic transformation, 180 degrees transformation. It means that you're going through a mystical transformation. So the other identical instance in Christianity that denotes the existence of Christianity within itself is the identical transformation that underwent. What's the dude's name? Constantine.
Right.
On a road, riding an ass or donkey, right? Which is again a symbol. Okay.
Yes.
Has an encounter with an apparition on the road, gets knocked off the donkey or the ass, and he sees, quote unquote, an apparition of Jesus emerging with a sword saying, "Conquer in the name of," and then Constantine, who was a Roman emperor at the time, who was only hell bent on empirical conquest, he becomes the determining factor that merges church and state, because prior to that there was a separation. So there was no empirical conquest taking place in Christianity, nor had it come under the auspices of the Roman Empire. They was going against them. So it would be like if Assad, right, if Assad was able to hold off the rebels, but then he claimed Judaism, right? And Netanyahu and them came in there and put him under the deodorant and converted his whole situation into a Zionist enclave. And he throws the whole balance of power off in the Middle East. It would be tantamount to that. That was the level of conversion that took place with Constantine, because this was dealing with the Byzantine situation. They had to move the capitals and everything.
Right.
And it threw everything into a flux. So Syria and Turkey, right? Antioch. So Paul starts his mission again in 44 AD.
44 AD, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. He starts his mission in Antioch in 44 AD. And he goes into Syria, again, Damascus, and all of them other places. So these places, Syria and Turkey, and those areas specifically, those will kind of be the origin points of Christianity, according to the narrative that has been passed down, that people are originally running with to today. Now, somebody's going to come and they're going to be like, what about the Coptic history? And, tell that story. That's not the dominant, prevalent story that's told. That is that's one of them stories that's relegated to this community.
Right.
That's not the story. That's not the story that the
front-facing story.
That's not the front-facing story of the origins of Christianity, or the engine or the motor that powers this thing up. Because again, they're telling it to you through European conquest, right? Christianity has been dominated by Christendom since Constantine. So there's been a military takeover of Christianity, and it happened in the 300 ADs, around the time of Constantine, and it has they have not had it under their possession since then. It has been under Roman possession as a military device, mechanism, right? They weaponized Christianity and created what's called Christendom. And then when the Moors came up in there in 700 AD, remember they had a 700-year run. So these Christians have been scrambling for 700 years to get their narrative together and get their game tight. And when they got you niggas up out of there in the early 1500s, or 1492 to be specific, they have been reconstructing and recalibrating and re-engineering and reinstituting their crusades ever since. And next year coming up should be the most interesting year globally, about the health of that crusades. What is it going to look like? How's it going to formulate? So what we see here, we see a major CIA move, right?
Major.
Um, you know, whew, yeah. So as we look at the perspective, if we look at the perspective of this hip hop battle, and like I said, the overarching conversation, the elements that we could look at it from a very figurative position
Right. I'm about
to
to say
say
through a lens.
through a lens, right? That we like, yeah, there's a way, at least in my perspective, that I tie what we see as the battle going on. It's a cultural shift, right?
Yeah.
Dealing with Drake, who's a Zionist, or we can't even say he's a Zionist. He's half real estate agent who really shows no allegiance to Zionism, but benefits from the privilege of being under the deodorant of the top Zionist, which is UMG, which is Sir Lucian Grange and the rest of them. I don't know if you got any articles that you want to show them that just totally shows, the universal music group support for Zionism, because they don't hide that at all. They got a
I've been
main office
told
in
that on
Tel
the
Aviv.
show multiple times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got it. They don't hide that. It's broadcasted, it's published. They're gung ho about it. You know what I'm saying? And they're unapologetic in their gung ho ness.
I'll
If
pull
there's
it up.
any, yeah, they're out front with it, right? They got a head office in Tel Aviv, matter of fact. So you know, this has been one hell of a calendar year for the Zionists, and you got to say that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, from an observational standpoint, and it ain't like we ain't sending out an application to get down. I'm just saying, based on the observations about how they cleaned the board up this year. You feel me?
Universal Music Publishing Group launches in Israel. There you have it.
Yeah, but there's something more specific. Just put in Universal or UMG support for Zionism. Let's see what that comes up with. Because it was an article that I had earlier this year that was just it was just super expressive about their unadulterated, what I'm saying, unapologetic support for the Zionist regime. And they was sending bread over there, what I'm saying, in the midst of the conflict. And they were acting, they was attempting as best as they could to shut down any support coming from the quote unquote music industry, from their employees, from the people who they considered should be, what I'm saying, a little bit more loyal.
Right.
Because they in bed with Zionists, whether they want to be or not.
Here is the love. So, Universal Music Group has significant connections to Zionist causes and pro-Israel initiatives. CEO Lucian Grange is a supporter of Friends of Israeli Defense Forces and has attended their fundraisers. His wife, Carolyn Grange, funds the Zionist Federation and the Conservative Party. Hayam Saban, a major donor to Friends of the IDF, has a subsidiary through Universal and is an independent non-executive director at UMG. David Renzer, former CEO of Universal Publishing, founded Creative Community for Peace, an organization linked to Stand With Us, which works closely with the Israeli Foreign Ministry. UMG issued a statement condemning Hamas attacks on Israel in October 2023, expressing support for Israel and the Jewish communities. Okay. And yeah, I'm sure that there's more to that as well, but that's just the initial search.
Yes, right. So it's it's all there in black and white. It's not any conspiracy or what have you.
Yeah.
They have an undying dedication and love for their people, and they're willing to put all of their resources behind them to make sure that their ultimate goals are achieved. And their ultimate goals, as we can see, right, is the reacclimation and sustaining of ever expanding, quote unquote, land that was promised to them according to their narrative, right? Or the narrative that they have been able to subvert to be their own.
Greater Israel is what they call it.
Yes, right.
Because
So we saw the provocation, right? It took place, and quote unquote 2023 October 7th, right? Of course, that you can note a day after, right?
right, the release of the
Release
album,
of the
All the
dogs,
Dogs.
all of the dogs,
Yeah,
right? Which came out on the 6th of October, the day at, at 6 a.m. from the 6th God, right? He played the 666 on that one.
right,
And yeah, the day after that they kicked off the skirmish, and it has been quite a calendar year in terms of how they have lined their ops up, and they have engaged in engagement on 7 different fronts, of which, if you listen to the mainstream narrative, strategically they've been doing their thing in terms of maximizing their opposition and taking out the leadership of their opposition, right? Dropping the head and the body falls. So they discombobulated their ops, and Syria was being propped up and held up by Shiite proxy forces.
right.
So Islam is split down the middle, right, with its Sunni and its Shiite. So
Sunni,
Saudi
right,
Arabia, right, and the Sunnis, the UAE, right. Uh, we would say that the Sunnis would be considered to be the progressives, and we would say the Shiites would be conservatives in terms of, what I mean? They don't really, they're totally anti boogeyman. They don't make no concessions. They
right,
wouldn't build a Dubai. You know what I'm saying? They not on it like that. They're a little bit more stringent in how they are dealing with Sharia law and things of that nature, right? So that would be more of what you see in terms of ISIS. That would be more of what you see in terms of, um, these are the Iranian quote unquote regimes, and their proxies would be Yemen is a proxy of Iran, right? Um,
right.
Hezbollah is a proxy of Iran. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And in Iraq, right? Certain actors like the Kurds and all of them people that was proxies of Iran. So with the Zionists utilizing their unilateral attacks and weakening their ops.
Man, they clean up on aisle 6 this year. It's
Yeah,
fucking legendary.
their cleanup is legendary. It'll go down in military history. In terms of, this is the year of convergence of technology, AI in particular. You know what I'm saying?
So this is what my spirit told me this morning when I was doing the research on this whole thing. It was saying to go ahead and find out if the rebels were utilizing AI in any way, because the way that they advance in this surprise attack, it kind of has a lot of the fingerprints of a possible AI assistance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that would definitely speak to is it real's involvement by utilizing once again these weapons of war that they were testing out in Gaza. But as you can see, with the way they cleaned up Lebanon and Hezbollah, they're utilizing AI over there as well.
I mean,
And
they're utilizing it everywhere.
they're utilizing it everywhere. So what started
Yeah.
in Gaza has now spread, and they're on full assault. Did you see this article where they say that he may have died in a plane crash? A
I mean,
helicopter.
he popped up in Russia. The latest news, right?
They said that he was. Haven't seen him landing in Russia per se, but there were reports of a helicopter crash. But they did say that he was. Let me go and do the research. They did say that he was going to Russia. He was granted asylum there.
Yeah. I mean, this is how these things happen. if that was the case, we seen that movie before. You feel me?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we can't get caught up over things that we have no control over. This is all theater at the end of the day. And again, what it creates is a monumental vacuum in the Middle East that almost assures that that region may be toppled by the Zionist advances to snatch up whatever they want to snatch up. And, you know, this incoming administration is very hostile towards Iran. You feel me?
Yes.
And with Russia perceivably weakened by whatever else is taking place, you know, and all of the unilateral skirmishes that they're involved in, you know,
Yeah.
it's gonna be yeah, 2025 is going to be all of the chips is up in the air. You know what I mean? About who takes these leaps of faith to grab these big pieces to really put things in perspective about a growing, shifting global order. You know what I mean? And where does that leave us as melanated people, as movers and shakers in the midst of it all? You know what I mean? So these are reasons that we have these conversations and make these observations. Um, but yeah,
Yes, sir. Yeah. So according to this article, him and his family arrived in Russia, and the Kremlin put out a statement that said that he's been granted asylum. So, yeah.
yeah. So you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's it's gonna play out like that. All of a sudden, the the U.S. and other international parties are going to attempt to use the international courts to make a case for, you feel me? Yo, you got to get him back here on charges. Oh,
Yeah, that's
well,
hypocrisy of the
yeah.
finest.
What about your boy though?
Right. That's the finest.
Oh, now we'll deal with that.
Yeah.
So I had read recently that homie had a whole corruption case that was supposed to start.
Yeah. He dodging that. Netanyahu, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. He's dodging that. He was supposed to get cooked before October the 7th.
yeah. I mean,
The walls were closing in on him.
his court date came up the other day. He could no longer, duck and dodge. He had to do a deposition, and they was just trying to find a secure enough space for him to do it. You know, they make all the excuses in the world, but yeah, the reshaping of the global order is actively taking place. You feel me? And the world still has to make it to January 20th. Because I seen a video of Biden. I'm like, bro, I don't even
In
think
Africa?
nah. They had him. He was doing commentary today about the fact that they had a hand. You know, they're showing their hand about, and you know what I'm saying. They showing their hand in their sleeve, saying that this was a CIA operation, and they were actively involved with toppling them over. So I don't know what your research has shown you about the technology that was utilized, but I would imagine it had a lot to do with drones.
Right. Yeah. It just the way that it popped off, it has all of the telltale signs of advanced technology
Mm-hmm.
because it literally came out of nowhere, and the advance that they had was very cool. It was very swift, you know what I mean? The rebels were able to advance very swiftly and accurately. And then to add to measures, is it real crossed over the border the first time in 50 years, and they started bombing Damascus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they threw their hat in that war today and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Like I said, it's all biblical in that perspective. You know what I'm saying? They say that when you see these things taking place, you know, it's definitely a sign of the times. Um, so yeah, we shall see. You feel me? We shall definitely see. But yeah, and Damascus also equals 444 in Gematria. Right? It's a heavy duty, you know, Law 44 event when it comes to the stuff that we are seeing. So
Right. Let me pull up something real quick. This might speak to you. It says Israel grabs land in Syria's Golan Heights, warns villagers to stay home. You know, so they're in the Golan Heights, basically fulfilling their whole thing about Greater Israel, you know, because they in Gaza and they said they're not leaving. They ran up in Lebanon and other places. They said they're not leaving over there, and now they moving on Syria and that border, and they're like, yeah, we pulling up and we not leaving. So, you know, just a lot of pieces falling into place, you know, for the season finale of 2024, leading into the final season of Solar Cycle 25. It's just a buildup, you know what I mean? It's like one of those
yeah, I mean, it's not
series.
the final season of Solar Cycle 25. Again, it's an 11-year period. It's a pinnacle. It may be the apex of that cycle, but it's not the ending of the cycle. You know what I'm saying? And they just dropped an article. They said we're fast approaching the sun's battle zone, and it could be even worse than solar maximum, experts warn. So it's this thing they're calling the battle zone. Solar maximum has only just officially begun, but now some scientists are warning that the sun's activity won't actually peak until after this explosive phase is over and we enter the solar battle zone. This relatively understudied phase of the solar cycle where giant coronal holes emerge on the sun could end up being disastrous for Earth orbiting satellites. So this time last year, specifically almost to the day, is when that hole had emerged on the sun that looked like a scorpion. Remember that last year? That was creating all of the solar storms and solar winds?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a year ago today. And they dropped this article right on time about the battle zone. So, you know, with all that being said, next year we're going to see the most aggression towards the sun from these people. Regardless of what happens, you're going to see them respond in a way that's very adverse towards solar activity. They're simulating, they have, you know, all of the devices that they're now simulating solar eclipses. They're sending the Parker probe back up there. They're doing a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Playing with the sun and taking shots at the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So expect all
Indeed.
that.
All that. Indeed. So that's that. You know what I mean? Get that out the way. I got a few videos that I wanted to share. This one is going very viral and whatnot. Let me see. This is Candace Owens and Nick Cannon. Did you see that clip that was going viral?
Horrendous. Yeah, I saw it.
You wanna do a reaction to that?
Yeah, play it. No, I'll speak to it. Yeah.
You should respect people. I always respect people. I would disrespect you if I lied to you. I'm not going to call a man a woman. I'm not going to call a woman a man. I'm not going to say sorry for telling the
your
truth.
Beliefs.
It's not my belief. A woman cannot be a man, and a man cannot be a woman. It's not a belief.
But I'm saying in your perception of the world is different from someone else's perspective, because just as emphatic as you are, that you believe what you just said, there's someone that believes emphatically the opposite.
Okay, so what you're talking about is the idea that everything can be subjective and there's no such thing as truth. And let me tell you why that. But that's why it's either yes or a no.
No, because we're either talking about feelings or facts.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I believe there is objective truth. Okay.
Okay.
A person that is born a man. Okay, a person that is born with a penis, as we call it. Okay, cannot ever grow up and give birth. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so there is such thing as an objective truth. I will not apologize for sharing objective truth. I'm not going to apologize for not saying because his feelings are hurt and do you
Well,
see how
why?
I feel? Because
Because so you have no problem going throughout the world hurting people's feelings.
I have no problem going out the world. That's one way to pitch it. Telling people the truth so that they can better their lives. So they can live in reality and not the one,
But
not
what
the fantasy land that they're creating for
someone
their lives.
believes that is a better life for them?
Okay, well, let's play it your way then. Let's do it the other way. There are a group of people who are now referring to themselves as minor attracted people.
Oh, I knew you was doing.
Is that turban from your company?
What?
Is that turban? Did y'all send him that turban?
From what? I don't. You trying to be funny. I don't even get the joke. You know what I'm saying? You should have hit it better than that. But anyway.
Like, you know how some people try to play devil's advocate? Is this an attempt of him trying to you know, it seems as if he's not taking it journalistically serious. As you can see, his whole demeanor is very clownish. You know, she's straight face. She has a poker face on. She's in character. He's literally sitting there lobbying. You know, and in my mind, I'm like, why would you even set yourself up? You know how some hosts, they don't want to seem like they're down with certain things, so they play stupid and allow their guests to go in and body shit. But it's like, bro, you can't be that compromised. But let's finish hearing the rest of it.
Can't go there.
Hey, but that's what they believe. They believe that they are in love and want to have sex with children. They believe that, Nick. They believe it. And are you going to apologize when you call them pedophiles? Are you going to apologize, Nick? Are you going to have them on your podcast? Don't you understand how they feel on the inside when you say that they can't have sex with 8-year-olds?
That is a hell of a point.
It is. The slippery slope is not a fallacy. It is reality. We are living the slippery slope. So somebody's going to have to produce the wall. So there's going to be a lot of voices that need to be objective and tell people the truth. I'm very happy to be those voices. If you're looking for me to, make you feel good, I can't be your mommy. I can't. That's why I tell people, I can't be your mommy.
But see, that's what I was like. It's too
I'm not your mommy. You're not a toddler. You're an adult.
But see,
this is what truth is. And if you can't deal with truth, then you're going to have a very tough life, way tougher than having to listen to Candace Owens say, you are a man on the internet. You cannot feel compassion for lies, especially because they have become what they're doing now is they're wielding compassion as a sword to pass through everything that they want done. And like I said, you were going to blink and compassion is going to end up with minor attracted peoples. Compassion is going to mean we can no longer call them pedophiles. That is what is going to happen. It is what is happening.
Can't let that happen.
We are barreling toward that. We are barreling toward that. It's so obvious because people they would rather tell a lie than risk offending someone.
So I made a statement earlier this month, I believe, maybe last month. And I said, Candace Owens, right? Alex Jones. Candace Owens is the new Alex Jones. And I guess some people caught it and other people like, what do you mean? And what I mean is this. There's a few things that I mean. One, it's very interesting to see how she literally has won the hearts over of her people in this year, right? She was working towards it in this year. Two, she's to black women what Alex Jones was to white men right now. 3, she is the perfect person for the women who she already had a following of sisters who were rocking with her mind state. But for the sisters who basically were going through a lot of crash outs and they were going through this whole loss of Kamala, she's the perfect, middle ground of somebody that could win you over and basically bring you into this conservative mind state, and and she's a buffer to bring people into this Republican mind state, this MAGA mind state.
Yeah, she's the usher. She
is the usher.
She ushers them through, You know what I mean? She can pat you on the side of your arm and make you feel a little bit more comfortable. Because, you know, all along her talking points were not necessarily past the margins. Um, what happened is that I have, I don't, you know, I spoke in public once or twice, and I guess the people that were listening, because I wasn't bashing Kamala, they thought that I was in support or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just cannot take a middle ground approach towards any of this information. So I might have been like, "Yo, she cooked, son, at the debate, and you ain't supposed to speak like that." So I had all these melanated women in my inbox that was attempting to converse me and proselytize me. You know what I'm saying, to the side of the red, and I'm like, it's not even about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that was my perspective. I'm not even saying that I'm pro this or pro that. I just made a perspective, and I made a perspective that, you know, she was surrounding herself with a lot of melanated women, you know, and then the people who were in the front line of defense that were pushing back against Trump's version of male, you know, white westernized male mentality, right? Was melanated women. If there was any perceived threat of what he may have represented, you know what I'm saying? Melanated men were not pushing back against that. They tucked their tail, right?
Right.
Even to have a conversation, be like, nigga, like, so what exactly do you mean? You feel me? Let's get some clarity on some of this shit. They just tucked their tail, they acquiesced, kissed the ring, and got under the deodorant. But melanated women were pushing back. So the majority of these women who I know belong in this community but feel marginalized because there's no men in the community that vocalize how they feel or speak specifically to them.
Right.
Those are the women that are on the fence, that are flirting with MAGA but don't know how to exactly go over there because they don't see the nick. You know what I mean? They don't see the individual. They're not they may be attracted to the message because it's anti what the Democrats represent in terms of, they like, nah, I don't want that for my son, right?
Yes.
But they don't have a man over there that's the prototype to be like, yo, I will go over there with him. So they kind of standing and looking at it from across the street.
Right.
But then Candace is coming over there with a cup of water, like, nah, let me I'm gonna bring you over and
I'm gonna
introduce
bring you
you.
over here to
Yeah,
introduce.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't as bad as it looks, you know what I'm saying? Like, you
Right.
know,
And she's the new face of the divestment movement as well. Let me just put that out there.
when I finish speaking, you can speak to what the divestment movement is.
Okay.
But you know, again, I don't think that melanated women's flirtation with MAGA or the red wave is necessarily them sending signals that they want to, you know, that they want to swirl necessarily.
Okay.
Not all of them are attracted to that movement because they want to swirl or they're looking for MAGA men,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
They may be in line with some of those conservative politics because they, you know, they're not with they ain't with the woke wave and whatever that encompasses. And we'll speak about that because I put an article up on that earlier. Um, so yeah, they were all inboxing me and sending me, you know, Candace destroying Kamala, and I was like, this is good content. I'm like, I'm not gonna repost it because I'm not, you know, I'm not proselytizing. So I ain't sitting up in there and saying yay or nay, but I was like, that's good journalism. She's on
Right.
top of her A game in regards to being ahead of the story, and she found her an op, right? Because like you said, in the middle of the year, she was dead in the water. She got cut off from Daily
She got
Wire.
fired. Right.
Ben Shapiro and them was spinning programs against her because she was anti-Zionist,
Right.
and she was exposing, right, those interrelationships within the Republican Party that seem to contradict one another. Like, how are the
Right.
neocons running with the Zionists? How you got neo-Nazis that are pro-Zionists? I don't get it.
Right. She was
And
asking too many
we've
questions.
asked too many questions at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So they got up out of there. So I do like how she utilized, being an underdog in her downtime to build a movement off of the back of the op. You know what I'm saying? And she skinned the cat, literally.
Right.
She
She did a
destroyed her.
smackdown. She had a debate and she delivered a smackdown.
She destroyed her with journalism.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So okay, so this particular piece of content, again, Nick is part of the industry. Nick probably has more relationships with people that are tethered to the LGBT community than he doesn't, right? He grew up in the industry, he's part of the industry, and you can't go back and save face without these people saying, did you ask the hard questions? If you got this lady on there, you got to grill her. You just can't let her get up there and say X, Y, and Z. Right. So he has to answer to his community. And I'm not saying he directly belongs to that community, but he's part of that community because of the entertainment industry. And if we still in 2025 got to tell niggas who are obviously either not part of that community, what that community consists of, then it's like y'all haven't been doing your homework, your due diligence. You really don't deserve to be in the conversation because you're missing the point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, he may have seemed like he was a little bit more playful than her because he knows who he got to go back and answer to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What his comment section gonna look like.
Right.
But again, on both ends of the conversation, we're left with objective views, right? Or subjective views, right? Because there's, like you said, there's only an objective truth. And we are left bickering with one another when there's a boogeyman in the middle that has created this fallout who gets to fall back and watch opposite sides go at one another. You know what I mean? So there's obviously something that's going on in society that is causing the exasperation of, these numbers to go up, right? There's this causing, something or someone obviously went to sleep at the head of the chicken coop, right? They're like, you put the fox at the head of the chicken coop. You know what I'm saying? Where there's these advances of these different niche communities to feel that they could change legislation, like they were speaking about the PDF files, right?
Right.
Where do they get the power legislatively to even be part of somebody's conversation? You know what I'm saying? Like, how far up does a rat line does this really go? So, yeah,
we know how far up it goes.
We know, but do are the people prepared? Do they have any idea? You know what I'm saying? And do they have the testicular fortitude to even see this thing for what it is and even go there? Right? We're having conversations with people that are not mentally prepared to go there. But yet, again, it's going to always lead to an argument. And I'm just so uninterested in arguing these days. You know what I'm saying?
So is Nick compromised? I
think that, again, yeah, without even understanding, right? Again, it's our objective. We're from the outside looking in saying he's compromised. I think that everyone is part of that industry that has those relationships, and that industry is compromised to some extent because he's sitting up there attempting to defend the humanity of people that he considers to be friends and family, that he sees the humanity in. And it's very difficult to be dismissive of their humanity in light of the fact that these are the people that, you know what I'm saying, that they're consistently and constantly surrounded by. So, yeah, how does he end up with a Sabi doc? How does he end up with a lot of things that, you know what I mean? Like, at what point do we ask ourselves these questions about if these people is compromised when we've seen their entire modus operandi, right? He been showed you the you know what I'm saying? He had to go on an apology tour.
I mean,
And we still let him back in. So
before that,
other people compromise from their willingness to forget who these people are. And then the people keep coming back and showing themselves, and we keep going into fake nigga outrage by the fact that we know who these people are. Why wouldn't Nick be up there defending the people?
So if Nick sent you an inbox to be on that show,
nah, I played this out of my mind on more than one occasion when I be putting them posts up, and I'm like, should I at this nigga or not? And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stand on business. You know what I'm saying? And if he want to have a conversation with me about why I say the things in the posters that I be saying about him, I'm willing to have that conversation. We should have it in front of the world. I don't want to have a backdoor conversation with him. You know what I'm saying? I was very I'm very unappreciative of how he's handled certain personal events, not even the shit dealing with the public. I'm just speaking about our own personal dealings in business with him. So yeah, he don't get a pass. He know that. This ain't me telling you that. You know what I'm saying? I've made these public declarations and proclamations in front of this nigga. Like, nah, son, I wouldn't get on your platform. I want to talk to you. Like, we cool. I'm gonna be at your helmet. You know what I'm saying? Because he straddles defense way too much, and he's made it an art form at this point. And I'm like, yeah, that's everything that's wrong with people that come around and flirt with consciousness. That is the issue with woke.
Right.
So
that they play with it.
They play with it. It's malleable. They could play with it.
They could stretch it. They can redefine it. You know what I mean? They don't.
They jump in and jump out.
Too many things.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, Candace has popularized herself by taking, you know what I'm saying, controversial talking points, which should not be controversial, right? And it's almost like consciousness does not have the testicular fortitude to draw a line, and they don't have the representative that can speak to like they have yet perfected tailoring a conversation, right, in the right tone with the right delivery that speaks to middle America. And Candace Owens has perfected that, right? The nuances and the talking points, where she's able to, a lot of conscious cosplaying taking place, right? Yeah, Kyrie folded, Nick folded, you know, Kaepernick folded, you know, all the whole woke shit.
Yeah, right? The woke niggas don't. Shit. They don't got Meg the Stallion knees.
When you give them niggas that when they have the opportunity to acquiesce and to flip flop, every last one of them have taken the opportunity to flip flop. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because it's when culture meets commerce. Which one is going to survive? Are you going to stand on culture, or are you going to compromise yourself because of commerce? It has consistently been shown that these niggas will compromise culture for commerce
all day,
right? And you know, and if you a Billy Badass out there, hopefully you get your opportunity to test yourself to figure out which one is going to work when it happens to you, right? And very, very few are going to choose culture over commerce. Right?
Chat. Does Candace get the W for 2024? Does she get a W? It's a few W's. Is she in the running for the W year? This is the chat, not this is I want to hear from the audience. How do they feel about Candace? Because maybe last year it would have been a different sentiments.
Absolutely, I feel that it would.
But I've seen her masterfully become accepted by people who judged her before truthfully even really sitting down and listening to a whole hour of her speak.
I love the fact that she's principled. You know what I'm saying? And that's very rare, especially in the media space. And she went up against the Zionists, so she gets my vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I'm doing this year in review, ladies and gentlemen. All of these shows are gonna have elements of us collectively, going back into the January 2024 leading up to now. And I'm gonna be, polling the audience because I don't want this to be about what I feel. I want to really see, I want to take the temperature and see how the family is feeling. So she's getting the most improved player. You know what I mean? I respect the principles as well. Something that and I'm gonna talk about something in a minute. Something that, it's the clean glass of water next to the dirty glass of water. I wish you would have stayed last night for that performance at America Sutton's Smash Studios premiere, because something very interesting took place, and I was looking around hoping that you were there to see it. But in so many ways, clean glasses of water were presented, and then a dirty glass of water was presented. And it was such a standout. Like everybody, it took the air out of the room because everybody understood what they were looking at. Like, this is not the future. You know what I mean? A woman came up there pee popping, talking about her box and everything. And how she likes to swallow things. She took the sexy red route after about 4 or 5 artists who were completely artistic in the performances were stellar.
Hella talented.
Yeah. And then it harkens back to the performance that I saw with Doechii.
Yes.
Right? On the NPR, the Tiny Desk with Doechii. And Doechii was on Jimmy Fallon. And Doechii is such a breath of fresh air. And Doechii is doing performance art. She's not just rapping. She doesn't give me Rhapsody. She gives me something completely different. You know what I mean? Shout out to Rhapsody. You feel me? Bars, right? But not a performance artist.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So Doechii coming out of the TDE camp, Kendrick Lamar won me over with his being a performance artist. Baby Keem, performance artist. Even Schoolboy Q, who's not the most, to some people, it's not considered the most lyrical, but I will watch him before Ab Soul in concert because he's a performance artist. Tyler the Creator, performance artist. So it's like, yeah, my dude got his hair braided while he was singing and rapping at the show yesterday. I got his contact. Mad nice. You was there for that?
No, I watched his rehearsal.
Okay.
I watched his rehearsal when he first got there, and he was doing sound check, and I was like, this nigga is nice.
Facts.
So shorty with the with the shapely attire on, she's the one that she got up there about.
Yeah. She was showing. Yeah, she was popping that thing.
I seen it coming.
And Jazzy Faye was there. A few other people was there.
Yeah.
And it was literally stone face.
Word.
Because it was like there's a time and a place. Yeah, and you could tell like that shit is not moving. We're not going into 2025 with that energy right now. Like it had its run. That shit is over with. You feel me? It's dead in the water.
Yeah, that's why they can't find one. You know what I'm saying? That's why they can't find one. And and again, this is not when I make an observation about culture. Yeah, I'm a nigga watcher, y'all. Like I be going to tailgates and I nigga watch, right?
Right.
I don't participate in everything, but I be in the midst of it. I be observing that stuff. So when I make these observations about culture, I'm not necessarily an active participant in the middle of everything that I'm speaking about. But I'm mindful enough that I'm at least mindful enough to know what's going on. So the Glorilla thing, you know what I mean? And the fact that she had a very dominant year as well. My observation of that does not mean that I'm a Glorilla fan, right? But I'm not against Glorilla.
Yeah.
I'm not by me saying I'm not a fan does not necessarily mean that I'm not I'm listening and I'm
It's
looking.
not into her like that.
Yeah, it's not my thing, but I get it, and I get who it's for, and I respect the way that the people resonate. What she has an aggressive energy, you know what I'm saying, and she's winning based on the uptick of what I see as the feminine aggressive energy. She identifies directly with that. She's not showing, you know what I mean? So she ain't popping because she pee popping. You know what I'm saying?
This is Glow you talking about.
Yeah, this is Glorilla.
Okay.
I'm saying, like, I'm looking at the ones that got one this year that have really, templated their position, solidified their position in the shifting landscape of what music is. And I'm looking at the ones that was pee popping that can't catch one.
Right.
And it was like, damn, yeah, the shit, it might definitely be wearing out for them. That shtick was overdone and overdid to a degree where it don't hit the same no more.
Right.
And it's you numb to it. It's like, where y'all gonna take it after that? You almost gotta be getting wore out on stage. You gotta that's the next shock effect. Anything other than that ain't gonna work. Like,
OnlyFans video
you
channel.
gotta be getting your back blown out on stage or something for the shit to register at this point, because we done seen everything else, and we like.
You remember the video show called The Box?
Yeah.
I mean, The Box. You know what I mean? That's where it's going. Like, there's gonna be a whole OnlyFans presents The Box. And they're gonna be, they not popping it no more. They getting popped. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen so people could see what I was talking about with last night. This is America Sutton, who is a songwriter extraordinaire. She appears on the Red Summer album, and she's gonna be on Red Winter as well. She just opened up her studios in East Point. You know what I'm saying? So let's just look at the. It was a showcase of extraordinary talent, and I'm gonna pause when we get to the. And I'm not putting nobody on the spot. I'm just showing you, some context. The Munda, there goes Jazzy Faye. Real cool brother. My guy.
Cool brother.
Yeah, real cool brother. It's my guy. And he got a hit too, Blue. Remember, you was like, he needs to get something. He got something. They played it. Yeah, he got something. It's on the charts in Atlanta.
Oh, word? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What's up, y'all? We got a new artist.
Everything we do is sacred. You know what I'm saying? Everything we do, let it be intentional. So when we come into this space, we come into a room of silence and we leave with a masterpiece. Over and over and over again, we are each other's reflection. So be everything that you pray for. Be your own dream. Ashe. I want to give thanks to my partner. I don't know where he is. In my kitchen, Randy. I want to give thanks to the team. We got Twink on the beat. Just came in from Miami.
Yeah, them girls are from Miami.
In the building. We got Genius Art. Right there is another one of my partners. Y'all can follow us on Smash Studios ATL.
Yeah, y'all go follow Smash Studios ATL. It's not the same Smash that y'all might think. It's a studio. It's going to be a performance venue. And it's next to Smash Food. I had a plate. Ooh, that food is banging right next door. Okay, so his sister, chocolate, beautiful, talented. She opened it up and set the vibe.
Did her thing.
Did her thing.
It was tasteful sensuality.
You said it was what, Blue?
It was tasteful sensuality.
Tasteful sensuality. I'll take some of that. I respect it when there's children in the audience and it's not cringeworthy. Like, do your thing. But if we got children around and I'm covering their eyes and shit, then you know you went too far.
This is the deal. I know you want me. show you. This is real. This is the deal. I know you want me right next to you.
They pulled the phone out of performance?
Nah. He was changing the music because the music was controlled by people's phones.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't do a Drake on them.
Shout out to America, Smash Studios.
Yeah, but he opened up playing these drums. It set the mood.
Tap into that.
Yeah,
the steel pan drum. Yeah.
Shout out to my guy, Gabriel.
Who?
Gabriel.
Okay. Oh, all right, Gabriel. Shout out to him. Yeah, everybody knew me at the end. I was like, okay. Yeah, I've been on YouTube. That's them, right? And you know the OG? Yeah. Yep. Shout out to the Carolinas. Y'all was repping hard yesterday. So my dude sing and he rap. Straight star.
Yeah,
straight star. And you know when you get your braids done and the Africans start pulling on your shit and you be like, yeah, so like none of that happened. He was straight in his bag. No tender-headedness. He wasn't chicken tender. And it was so fire that by the time he finished his set, which was 15 minutes, he finished right then and there. Full cornrow.
A word?
Yeah, she was able to knock the whole thing out by the time he was done. Yeah, so player.
So we robbing birds, got a song, got a game. A man child in the ghettos like an other day. When you get under this like a hood got a raise. And no circle you get a name based off a trick.
And she was just comfortable. She wasn't worrying about nothing. She was in her element. See, y'all, performance art, right? Not just regular performance art. That's what gets you in art galleries. That's what gets you overseas. Shit like this.
My name is Ali Baba, Muhammad Ali Lama, Ali Boombaye. I just need y'all to
Ali Baba, Ali Boombaye.
I don't want to have excuses when I get wrong. I don't want to be your best friend and kid phone. I don't want to promise soul until they been sold. I don't want to end up like I'm future in now. Getting older and they realize that they've been lost. So you're cheaper till you look up what it did cost. Now you damaged or you broken like you been lost. Take that offense off. Put this new lens on. You worry about some bills? That's like a quick wash. That mean the rents off. I want the rose pills. I want the field walk. I want corny semantics. I want the real talk. I want us to be preceded by who our kids are. I want to be her day and night crew for a field car. I want to diagnose you when I think you feel hard. I want to say it loud loud like the sound of a funk. I told you you are R&B, read my mind like a run. I'm just making you a list of what I want, what I don't. How about we take that list and see if we can wait or go? How about we take that list? I need all the niggas out in the head.
Yo, I'm about to take some singing lessons, man.
Yo.
You feel me?
I've been adamant. I told you I'm gonna start singing after the age of 50. I gotta get a silver fox first. Yeah, that's second life. R&B and you
Family, when I say this spot is a vibe, y'all, I shit you not, a whole vibing set. Show number 2 is coming up. Me and Blue is gonna be highlighting that. I'll let y'all know when that's coming, but this is a whole vibe, and it goes hand in hand with the studio that we're opening up on New Year's.
Don't push me. I see you, Jazzy Faye. I said, but don't push me where, y'all?
Over the edge. Over the edge.
Sometimes I'm mixing my beats with y'all.
XAI just dropped Aurora, a new image
Chill,
generator built
homie.
right into Grok. And wow, this
Here we go.
You a bad bitch, don't throw that ass, yeah. You a trick, yeah. Make up in my ring, yeah. You a bad bitch, you a real pimp, yeah. You a trick, yeah. Make up in that cash, yeah. You a
Look, I'm swinging my
don't
boobs.
throw that ass, yeah. You a trick,
Oh,
yeah.
she was there. She had a what's my dude? One nigga from Florida named D-Lo.
Yeah, they got the D-Lo, my nigga D-Lo right there.
You know it's so a motherfucking beat, stupid dick, and his pussy wet, make a pussy. No, she not the one, not a two, bitch, I'm 3 bitch. Took your nigga on a stick trip.
She got 5 kids too.
You know, this consciousness
Remember what
is
you was
becoming a
talking
trend.
about?
Everybody jumping in their third eye bag like a
Didn't go the way I wanted, but I was still happy that I went all 5 rounds. So
Yeah, you manifested her. That was her.
Pay
That was
attention,
her in
y'all.
real life.
It was
She popped up and shit. Like somebody said my name, but no disrespect to the queen too, because I took a picture with her. We were talking afterwards, and she smelled good. And you know, it is what it is. Like that just, but she was able to show everybody in the audience what we going for and what we kind of not. I seen it on everybody's faces. It's the whole shit shifted. We had to take an intermission after like. Yeah, we had to take an intermission.
So the collective consensus you're saying is that people are not that, you know, that kind of music, that energy, that frequency, that the audience is moving past that.
You know what? And I don't know why it didn't capture it, but a brother a Jamaican brother got up there and he just got married, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he brought his wife on stage and he serenaded her, right? And the sisters in the crowd, I was looking at everybody's face and they were so smitten by love, by somebody appreciating their woman and not being shy about it. And America was throwing roses on them and everything. And like they were like, that's the type of chosen I want type thing. You know what I mean? The women, and there was some baddies in the audience, but they were gravitating to the brother getting his hair braided, serenading women. You know what I mean? Talking about women. There was another brother that got up there like D'Angelo, and he was talking slick, but it was still not disrespectful. But he was in his bag. Mm-hmm. He was running up on dudes with their whizzes and serenading the Whizzingtons. And I was like, fam, be careful. Like, you know what I'm talking about? I hope you but they were gravitating to stuff like that. Be bold, my brothers. You know what I mean? But don't be brash. You know what I mean? Speak to their hearts. Tell them what you're gonna do with them. Yeah. But you don't have to be Lil Wayne type of. You don't got to paint the picture that Wayne was painting when he was in his, you know, bag. Right. Capture hearts, right? Because our women, I think that this is what they show up for. They you know, they want to get their hearts captured. They want somebody to speak to their soul. You know what I mean? And the men too. We want some sisters to captivate us. And we not captivated by the Cash App rappers right now. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? We are not captivated by the Cash App rappers. It's over for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see that, you know, there's a level of impending change. And I just think that overemphasizing, that we, you know, there's enough room and there's enough space for a multiplicity of expressions. Right. And we just got to get back to that soulful music that we keep saying that we want, that we miss. The game been missing. Yeah, we need them love songs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you know, we need real world examples of it as well. You know, we need people to really stand on it and just return that. And like I said, you know, watching these shows or listening to what people are speaking about, it seems that people want something more than just a one-night stand. You know what I'm saying? People want, they at least are showing up and appearing as if they want something more than just temporary. You know what I'm saying? And mystery is definitely a key. You know what I mean? Just bringing back that element where I don't know how expressive we have to be about this, but there's an element of sexiness that comes without revealing it all. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm trying to think of what I know I recently witnessed something that I was appreciative of over the
I'm gonna
past
just
days.
right. I'm gonna throw something out there, and this is a married woman, and I'm in no way trying to shoot my shot. Candace Owens is seducing people with her intellect, with her poise, with the fact that there's mystery to her. You feel me? She's not online showing up with everything showing. It's not all hanging out. You know what I mean? Like she's literally capturing hearts with her approach. You feel me? That's why she's getting a big W when we do this year wrap up. And what I'm gonna put it into context. The women are falling in love with her. You feel me? And it doesn't have to be in such a raunchy, lustful type of way. Let me fall in love with your mind, sis. Let me fall in love with the spirit. Let me fall in love with your intellect. That goes a long way. You know what I'm talking about? That goes a long way in the terms of what we figure, what we're gonna do with y'all. Like, let us fall in love with your no nonsense stance on shit that we know that is right. Yeah, she's killing them with a ponytail and some goddamn antennas. You know what I mean? It ain't even. She's not even pulling up with the Fashion Nova on these niggas. There's no wigs from Timu wigs. It's just a ponytail and a little bang here and there. You know what I mean? And her intelligence, even though some of us may disagree with her conservatism, you know.
Shout out once again. I think Brother Ken, he was the first one to hit me to Candace. Well, I'd be like, yo, where you getting these perspectives from? Like, and he didn't say he was getting it from her, but he was like, that's somebody, you know what I mean, who he definitely watches and respects her perspective, right? For being counter what the general perspective might be. But when you go and listen to her objective, again, she said truth is not objective. When you listen to her objectiveness, yes, and the fact that she does her scholarship and her research, she cut her teeth by debunking a lot of low-hanging fruit initially that the conscious community used to run with. The stuff that's not researched, the stuff that's not backed up by the latest facts and information. You know, people were running from her. They didn't want to debate. They didn't want to squabble because she had them bars. And yeah, we operate off of a faulty, you know, some of the information that we're still running around with as a community needs to be updated. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
And
we're in a new
for the people, and I guess, you know, there was those talking points that came out around the time of woke, when you go into Reddit subreddit rooms and they was debunking everything and just coming at the hoteps and this, that, and the other. You know, if you had thick enough skin to read through what those observations were, if you had thick enough skin to, you know what I'm saying, get into some of that commentary without it, you know, rattling your nerves or making you feel what's the words that I'm looking for? You know, it was just it faulty information sometimes in the community is the only leg people have to stand on because they trauma bonded. Right. So they're running with conscious tropes that are not necessarily like, you know, they ain't that hard hitting in these days and times with these people that are moving out or moving around with scholarship. And I literally just got to sit down and watch the debate with Billy Carson.
You want to put on the spooky music?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we good. This is about being integral with the information, right? Nobody's bigger than the information, so the information takes the front street and the front row, and the shit is not about a cult of personalities. It's about the information, right?
Yeah.
Information, and the information can stand on its own. We have, as conveyors of information, as channelers of information. You know what I'm saying? You have been chosen, or you chose yourself to be a conduit for information, to channel this information, but you're also a steward of information. You're also a curator of consciousness. So we owe it to ourselves to be on our A game. We owe it to ourselves to be thorough with our research. We owe it to ourselves to not have it, to not let them catch you on a bad day. You owe it to yourself to never let them see you sweat, right? But never throw integrity out for the sake of your ego that does not want to be seen sweating, right? And this has been the conundrum that consciousness has run into once it became a cult of personality, and these cameras started becoming an integral part of, what it is that we do as a research community.
Right.
This has been the main reason initially that people wanted to see, on some gang shit, like who's your granny will block you from. So in consciousness, that's who's your enlightener, who did you come in under, who's your OGs, who's your master teachers. Shout out to my brother Hugh, you know what I'm saying?
Which one?
Human, right? Me and Human was supposed to start a podcast called Primary Sources, and it's going to be a peer review podcast from just sitting around hearing some of these podcasts that have been taking place on some of our, these reputable platforms that are friends of the program. I'm just like, you be letting too many wild niggas get up there and say the wildest shit, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Without no empirical proof. So it's just like, can we start as peers asking one another for primary sources? If this is going to be what you put in the pool, if you're going to be muddying up the stream with this BS, and I've not hidden the fact that I'm very ambivalent towards the Anunnaki conversation because it's a misinterpretation, and y'all running off of old cloth. We been exposed to the fact that Zechariah Sitchin has been debunked, and look how far we have gotten out into the ocean as a community where we're still utilizing that. And it's putting us all in a very precarious place because you don't understand or listen to the nuances of what you're saying. You can't tell me in one voice that I'm God body or I have the ability to become God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nigga, you can't tell me that we going up the ranks that you a God even when they say that you ain't. But you tell me that your origin story is that you was a slave that was sent here or genetically modified to fucking dig gold in South Africa. I want to roll my sleeves up and shoot a five with you. And I've not hidden that. I've been very adamant to express that without, getting into being too confrontational with my consciousness. And too disagreeable. I don't want to personalize it to seem like it's an attack or I'm hating. I hate the concept. You know what I'm saying? I hate what you are implying as a people that have acquiesced and given up. That you telling me that my progeny, my origin stories is based on slavery. When we over here attempting to push back on a 500-year slave narrative, you're gonna tell me that, nigga, that's how we were brought to the planet?
You galactically, nigga.
You're a galactic slave. That we a slave through the cosmos. That you a bitch around the cosmos? Nah, we not going for that. I'm not going for nobody telling me that, alien intelligence built the pyramid. I'm not going for none of that. I'm not going for anything that minimizes the greatness of a melanated people who desperately need, you know what I'm saying, to be seen for their humanity. They definitely need to be seen for their intelligence. Because what them people is not telling you is that this entire conflict, war, squabble, skirmish, whatever it is that we're dealing with is based on intelligence. We are dominated by people who do not rule you through brawn, they rule you through intellect.
The brain.
So through the brain. So we need to be doing any and everything did we can to proselytize our intelligentsia, you know what I'm saying, to return to our intellect, to prop up, you know what I'm saying? What what does it look like, you know, when we are implementing our philosophies, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And yeah, so to be building up and to be propping up somebody else's mythos and somebody else's sci-fi fantasy, and not understanding that the origins of it is Neolithic to begin with. Is that a word that I need to be using right now? It sounded like one.
Neolithic. And
But it's the Europeans' attempt once again to create a cosmic history that doesn't exist.
Right.
Relating to it,
They
denoting the later
desperately
part of the
suppress.
Stone Age when ground or polished. Yeah. So you bringing me back to the Stone Age. You telling me I was a Neolithic slave, my nigga? I'm not going for that. You know what I'm saying? I want to
Yeah, I ain't
squabble.
going.
Yeah,
I
I
ain't
want to intellectually squabble to scrap that out there and get it up out of here. And I know where it comes from. And again, it's so personal in this community because they defend the BS to such a degree. It's like we can't even have a conversation without offending people. But I'm like, nigga, what's more offensive than you trying to tell me that we derive from space slaves? That's hell of offensive.
Word.
Then why you don't tell them niggas the gold rush started in South Africa? My nigga, why you keep trying to tell them about yeah, it started it didn't start in California, it started in North Georgia. No, according to you niggas, it started in South Africa.
Right.
Can I get a date on that too?
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah, sure.
So it's just a lot of goofy shit that comes with that narrative that just has to be confronted. It's a neo-Nazi argument that has been carried and proselytized by susceptible melanated people that fell for the hook, line, and the sinker.
And a shinker.
Yeah, and he didn't even seem like himself. You know what I'm saying? He didn't seem like himself on that show. Like he was totally subdued, like he was on an edible or something. And that shit was wild uncomfortable to watch these Neanderthals slam dunk on him. Well, I'm like, nigga, you letting Christian
That nigga like a Tesla bot that he was debating. Son was mad robotic with it.
So, yeah, you know, it's almost like we got to spin the block and just check, you know, like criteria. Like, yo, what's your resume? Have you ever, like homie said, nigga, have you ever been in a debate? Like, you didn't make it out of Consciousness 101 to get put at the forefront of Consciousness 103, nigga. It's like, no. Why? So this constant remixing of what the community has had to offer is like, y'all are insisting on starting from this point. You forgetting everything that happened from that point. Because the shit that y'all said was a distraction that was happening from that point was to get rid of niggas so they wouldn't get to this point to be this fucking embarrassing at this point. Right? Case in point, oh, y'all wasting time in New York doing them debates. Well, the debates was definitely, you know, sharpening the sword to a degree where we got a BS out the way so it cannot be regurgitated later on today. And that's what y'all niggas is doing. Y'all bringing the BS out that already went in that trash bin. Y'all have refurbished the shit and given a new spin on it with a whole new crop of characters that look wow, like these wild characters.
Yeah, there is a claim that the video is fake. And there is a just to be fair, right? Just to have all transparency, that the brother said that he will address it at 8 o'clock tonight. You know what I mean? But based off of what we saw,
the video was fake.
I mean, I don't.
Now I'm asking, how did they say it? It was AI or they cut?
I mean, in video.
So
render ML. I don't know. Like
homie went to
deep
great
fake.
lengths to position him there, to like stand there if I could dunk on you. Wait, yeah, right there. Huh.
Look, your guess is as good as mine. You know,
I'm again, but what's
I'm
the
here
premise?
for
It
it.
was fake, and what you're gonna provide the answers that weren't given. Why are we still having these discussions about a nigga cannot walk you down with literalism, dealing with? Let me mind my business. You know what I'm saying? This is the reason I put the flock on a few years ago. Why I said we need to develop a narrative, right, for our people that's still caught up in Christianity. Are you able to see yourself in the religion? That's imperative and important for the
Right.
sake of Nana and them, right? Where do you see yourself in this narrative? Do you have any understanding whatsoever about the the historical background of the region at the time? Because there's interesting. There's a whole controversy around a Netflix movie called Mary.
Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, right. Some people are saying it's the worst movie ever, but it's very controversial because they got a Zionist young woman playing what they conceive or perceive to be, a Palestinian descendant.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
So, they need somebody to stand up and say, nigga, the Palestinians of today wouldn't be the Palestinians of yesterday. And the goddamn the real estate agents, the Zionists of today would not be the quote unquote Israelites of yesterday. Both of y'all is over there cosplaying, and because of the emotionalism of the skirmish, everyone is caught up. You know what I'm saying? And they're speaking to these people as if either one of them are the rightful heirs or holders
or indigenous
of indigenous to be in that region, to be having this conversation to begin with, and they not. But we got caught up. You know what I'm saying? So we speaking about them as if they are, and they're not. Neither one of them. Right? But there's been a whole lot of sacrifice. There's been a whole lot of blood spilled. There's been a whole lot of, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Trauma bonding.
Right.
Yeah. So
Phoenix said that Netflix movie named Mary is total crap.
Yeah. So again, this willingness to play in our face consistently with these narratives about a topic that, whether we consider it to be real or not, it has real life ramifications, especially moving into next year when the Christian nationalists are going to attempt to make a run on turning this country into a theocracy, right? You can flip it on their head to be like, all right, well, let's have this conversation about, you can't have your God and I have my God. It's only one according to your quote unquote narrative or religion. Let's get these experts out. Before Jordan Peterson goes around the world 4 or 5 times and finds every excuse to continuously give you Caesar Borgia as your Lord and Savior, my nigga, someone has to push back.
Right.
But it has to be liturgical. It has to be someone, you feel me, who has the mindset, that understands the nuances and is able to go in there and debate in the right way.
Right.
Not like a goofy.
Right.
Yes, 2 thieves fighting over stolen property, right?
That's what we're watching.
And we're getting it. Yeah, we get caught up in emotionalism. So we're speaking to the atrocities in terms of how they are being dismissive of their humanity, but neither one of them are necessarily non-deserving. Yo, where do the time go?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
That part.
That's crazy.
We were just saying that somebody brought up thieves and land. I'm gonna show this video and then I'm gonna show another video. But let's look at this AI depiction of Kemet, y'all. Let's go into the time machine.
Beautiful.
Let's look at what we lost.
Beautiful.
something for your minds, you know, a little trip down memory lane.
So beautiful.
Down memory lane. And when we speak about that region, I'm gonna drop my link right here in the Discord. All of my artists, that was AI. That's some of the newest technology that's available right now. Yeah, make sure y'all tap into the Discord, because in 2025 we will be doing clips like that. We will show you how to animate your ideas and your memory and turn it into trailers such as that will go viral. And when we talk about the Middle East, you know, because Egypt is right next door to Palestine and all of these areas, you know, we don't want to forget when we talk about these stories, like Blue was saying about us being the narrative that we're cosmic slaves and whatnot. I want us to be able to see that, you know, there's nothing that really points to that direction. You know, what the direction that we're looking in, and the memories that we have, it speaks more to what we just saw, you know, and not to be romanticizing anything, but you know, this cures.
You should respect people.
This helps to cure us of the lies and the falsehood, because remember, this whole thing is about perception. So what you perceive, you believe and whatnot. So the fact that they gave us roots in this slave narrative of us being groveling Negroes and we didn't contribute anything and we were just in the bushes and whatnot, you know, this right here is the antithesis to that. Okay, something that children should watch, something that we should be airdropping to the little ones while they're on their tablets and phones and whatnot, something that we could be playing on the big screen, these 100-inch TV screens and whatnot. You know, we need to see more of those depictions unapologetically. You feel me? And you said, who's giving us this view though? You're giving this. You don't live in the era anymore of where somebody else is giving you the view. We live in a completely new timeline. You control media. You're creating the content. You're putting it in front of people. And if you're not tight at the pockets, you're putting money on that so you can market it and you could boost it and it could get in front of millions of people. It's mad easy right now. You don't have to worry about nothing. So that conversation about who's doing this, that shit is moot. It's over with. We're in a new timeline. We're in a new timeline. So let me continue with this information. Let us go into the present day and bust heads open with
black woman owns the entire United States of America. They know it, and to keep her quiet, they had to give her Monroe, Louisiana. When is she gonna be in town? Anybody know when the Empress is coming? Thanksgiving, right? Yeah, Thanksgiving. This woman owns the entire United States up into Canada. Now the key to this whole shit is that got past all your Afrocentric scholars. Why? Because the white man gave them what they wanted them to learn. And so now y'all taking thousands of trips to Africa and you didn't know that in actuality this was a black man, the black land from Lemuria. And when the white man got here, black people's over here, and the reason why they kicked the Indians in the ass to this day is because the Indians didn't own this land. That's why they can front like that. They gave you more privileges than the damn Native American. Why they begging and pleading with you, even though they still kicking you in the behind? But the key to the whole thing is you own the land. The Indian was a nomadic tribe that didn't own it. It was raw black people that owned it, and most of your Indians that you see, some of them are black people. That's a fake thing that they show you on TV. And it was the Washita Nation, and then this got past all of that. Now I'm gonna say some more things about this Empress, because the Empress shows up. Number one, I meet up with this cosmic messenger called the Book of Law. The same day I meet this person called Awas. He's in the Book of Law, which is the second version of the Book of Coming Forth by Date. And we know the Empress Vertice shows up in the fucking book. And when I get the spiritual channel, they say that's the Empress.
One of the oldest tribes of indigenous people. Now, nation members are back in the Arklamis, a region they claim is their homeland.
As our Jeremy Pierre reports, they're celebrating their heritage and paying their final respects to their former leader.
Vertice Washington Turner Gostin Elbe of the Washita Nation was known for a number of things, being an activist, a mayor, and an empress. Her followers believe she was a prophet, descending from the original inhabitants of our region.
She was given some information of resurrection.
The empress is gone, but family members are following in her footsteps. Her cousin is called the Crown Prince Emperor. He and other members feel it is their mission to share the divine information given to the empress, information they say proves their people are the original owners of Washita Parish.
Resurrection is bringing the people up to what's going on, as in for civilizing the people, actually giving them the information of the original owners of Wichita, which is Washita Parish.
The nation is honoring the life of their deceased empress while also celebrating their own Juneteenth. It is the date in 1848 descendants of the empress say they won a case against the federal government. They say the case confirmed land gained through the Louisiana Purchase did not belong to the U.S.
Proving that the land belonged to the indigenous inhabitants, the Washita Turner Empire, Washita, D.W. This empire were people that the French and the Spanish would visit long before the United States was recognized as a nation internationally.
The group is holding its convention in Monroe. They will scatter the empress's ashes in the Washita River. In Monroe, Jeremy Pierre, KNOE 8 News.
People. So, you know, shout out to all of my. Go ahead, Blue.
I said rest in peace to the Empress.
Indeed, indeed. You know, rest in peace to the Empress. Shout out to my Washita Moors, brothers and sisters from Monroe, Louisiana, and in those areas and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, that part. And then I have something else that I want to show. This just showing you that there's work to be done. This is all that means is work to be done. So check this out.
30 minutes from Kansas City is Lenexa, home to one of several underground facilities used within the state of Kansas for business and storage purposes. To access the American Indian Records Repository, you drive into a hill.
Our job function here is to receive and store the Native American records from across the United States, all the federal records, and then also some of the tribal trust records we have here that we store. Back in the 70s, these were some old limestone mines, and they mined them, but they mined them in a way that they could be able to use them for storage or for office space. Through the years of the litigation and even today, there was a need to be able to centrally locate all of the Indian fiduciary trust records to be able to support the research efforts for the litigation. And our records were spread throughout the nation in the FRCs, where the local offices would retire their records to the nearest FRC, near them. So it was decided by the Office of the Secretary to build this facility in a central location and be able to have one location for all of the Indian fiduciary trust records to be located. And so in 2003, NARA and the Department of Interior met and came up with the idea to build this facility here underground alongside with the other NARA storage centers where they store other records. NARA is National Archives Records Administration, and the FRC, I'm sorry, the acronyms,
No problem.
is a Federal Records Center.
The litigation TAP references is Cobell v. Salazar, one of the largest class action lawsuits in American Indian history regarding the mismanagement of thousands of individual Indian money accounts. The facility is generally closed to the public, but individuals can gain access by going through the proper channels.
I know you don't allow a lot of crowds in here, but how can a person get a tour of this facility?
What they would need to do is contact the director of the Office of Trust Records. and give the names of the individuals and the dates in which they would like to come here for a tour. And then the director would decide whether or not to grant authorization. Once she grants authorization, she lets me know so that I can inform our guard, and then the guard actually would allow them to come in, but they would be escorted for a tour. First thing we do is we show them a video of how to properly handle our records. And then also they sign a research agreement. And that agreement is basically listing out the procedures that they need to follow. Some of the, also near the records, when they're around the records, there's no drinks, there is no tobacco of any type, there is no chewing gum, no hand lotion, so there's nothing around the records that could harm them. No pens, no highlighters, no markers can be allowed. We store here the records from the Bureau of Indian Education and their functions, the Office of Special Trustee, of course, for American Indians. Also, we have Indian Education records, Office of Judicial Services records, which are law enforcement that are out on the Indian reservations. And we also store here records for the Secretary, the Assistant Secretary for Indian Affairs, and also the trust-related records for our solicitors' offices. Those types of records could be financial, of course, education, high school transcripts, marriage certificates, death certificates, all the types of personal
loans and investments. Loans, and they wasn't loaning no Indians nothing. Let's be clear.
information of people who have been enrolled. This is just an old ledger that is records some of the older transactions and investments made, but you can see how brittle it is and due to its age. So these looks like these are investments. The records here are maintained in archival standards, and the temperature is at 60 degrees. The humidity is controlled to protect them. Also, the air is filtered several times a day. You know, we are underground, so we're safe away from any type of natural disaster or tornado won't affect us down here. If someone wanted to get a copy of maybe their great-grandmother's marriage license or some death certificate or something to try to trace back their history, what they would do is they would go to their nearest Bureau of Indian Affairs office and do a research request. And that would be sent to us, and we would, I have a staff here that actually does research, and we would do the research, see if we could find the information, and then we would release that information back to the BIA. We only release information back to the owners of the records. We don't release it to the public. If someone wanted to, someone wanted to do that without going through the BIA, then they would have to send us a Freedom of Information request.
Depending on the employee's workload, responses to requests usually happen within 48 hours, but no more than 5 days after they are received.
This area here is the space where the boxes are actually, the information is being taken out of the box, off of the files, and actually entered into a database, so that in the future we would be able to retrieve, for research purposes, we would be able to know where to go to look for the documents that are being requested. All of our boxes, when they get here, have a barcode put on them and are scanned to a physical location, so that at any given time we know where a box resides. So I always tell the staff, our rule is within 5 minutes we locate a box. This is the dock, and this is where all the boxes are actually received from the field, And also, this is where the boxes, well, when they come in from the field, they come in here and they're put on these stacks over here, is what we call the stacks, to be weighted, to be indexed. We did have, about a couple months ago, a couple of tribal guys come in and do some research. And they were surprised that there's not more tribes that actually come in for research. It's a facility to be able to preserve the history.
Y'all are underground in a goddamn mountain. Talk about Yusuf. What the fuck? Is she serious, bro?
She is.
She's dead serious.
And that's the way that's, you know what I mean? That's the nerve that they have. Like, we're surprised more people aren't down here with us.
Right. That's a whole military operation that they got going on inside of a mountain where they literally are going through all of the lengths. This is damn near levels of security that they hold in nuclear secrets to keep, not Tontoing them, to keep the Moors and the Moabites from really finding out what's going on. So not only do they have, and please speak about Kansas. You always bring up the importance of Kansas in the conversation, and they are in Kansas, Kansas City Chiefs. You know, that automatically comes to mind. Wichita, Kansas. You know, the breadbasket of America being Kansas. Dorothy, you're not in Kansas anymore. And just with the whole Wizard of Oz movie meant. So please touch on that.
Well, you know, that Kansas City Federal Reserve, Kansas is the heartland of America. So it's the vein, artery, you know what I'm saying, that this particular road runs through. But yeah, it seems like they have that information, you know, captured and contained and hidden underground in a cave somewhere in Kansas. You know what I mean? That is that's a, I guess a catechism for saying I'm in the boonies. Like, how much more in the boonies can you be? They're in Kansas,
right?
Underground in the mountain, in the heartland, right? And they got all the secrets. Same way the Utah sitting on all of the melanated secrets that the Mormons are sitting on. You want to speak on that? Our genealogy as melanated people, distinctive, right? Yeah, they could call us different things at different places and spread the information around. If you're looking for your melanated info, you got to go to Utah, and you got to go see the Mormons.
The Mormons, right?
And they got it in a cave,
right? You know
what I'm saying?
Maconda, Illinois.
Yeah. Well, the word Wakanda means the creator, spirit force that moves through the lands of the Americas. Wakanda is a indigenous name that derives from the Americas that speaks to their deity.
Yes.
Coincidentally enough.
And when I posted that on my page, I had truck drivers saying, yeah, I've dropped loads off into that repository and whatnot, but they were fully familiar. And I had another comment where dude was like, he was in an 18-wheeler and got lost for hours by making a wrong turn in one of those repositories. That's how huge it is and whatnot underground. So hopefully, you know, I'm just glad that they know now what they're looking at when they do go and pick up those loads. Now you have a better understanding of, you know, where you are. So yeah, we need that spooky Moor to shut by the door.
Spooky Moor.
Somebody said, wait, the Mormons got Moor's records? The Mormons? Yeah, the Mormons have the Moor's records. You better believe it. Yeah, those salt mines in Utah.
Better believe
all
it.
Up in there.
Where they at?
They got that. Moab, Utah for the Moabites.
Yeah, they there. Where the Dead Sea is at.
Yeah, let's we're gonna take a little commercial break real quick. We have sponsors. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get to that real quickington. All right, give me 1 minute. Peace to you and yours. Peace to you and yours. Brother Red Pill reporting live and direct. Yes. They say all good things come to those who wait. And they also say it's not how you start the race, it's how you finish it. So with that being said, it's time to finish 2024 in spectacular fashion. Me and Blue Pill and the rest of our team cordially invite you to the grand opening of the bookstore, gallery, studios, a one-of-its-kind content house, and also a membership club. You dig? Yes, we're going to be opening up our doors for the first time on New Year's Eve, and we invite you to pull up and be a part of history. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You, boy. Yeah, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. If you are creative, if you are visionary, if this sounds like something that you've been looking for, then I need you in the building. Come and make history with us, all right? Or it's going to be an all-day event. We will have food, drinks, music. It's 420 friendly. You'll be on that back porch getting it in. You dig what I'm saying? Networking, all type of things. You deserve it all right? So I look forward to seeing you. If this is something that you want to do, comment RSVP and we will send you further information. With that being said, peace, love, and light, man. Y'all stay up. One. For my ATLians, if you want to help out and you know, just give a helping hand, we do need what do they call that, volunteers for that day. There's a lot going on that day. We're looking for volunteers. We're looking for sponsors. If you have any, if there's brands out there that want to be a part of the sponsorship, you can also hit us right there. We do have a few slots open for vendors also.
Yes.
So hit us up as well. And from the hours of 3 to 8, it's free. It's open to the public. We welcome the family. It'll be an open door, but we do ask you to RSVP. So because it is limited space in there. And then from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., if you want to celebrate, if you're in the mood to turn up and to really get it in and to listen to Red and Blue Purple like Prince on a loudspeaker, and if you want to see my dude get his hair braided while he talks that talk because he got invited and we're inviting other artists and whatnot, then you could go ahead and buy a ticket because that will be ticketed and whatnot. So all of that is available on this link, New Year's Eve ATL.RSVPIFY.com. The link is in the chat and it's also in the description. So yeah, we look forward to see y'all from the Carolinas, Alabama, Mississippi, all surrounding areas. Atlanta will definitely be the place to be on New Year's Eve if you want to come and kick it with us. Yeah.
Factory. You know what I'm saying?
Factory. And I do have another announcement. Me and Ross Ben have something coming up.
Yes.
At the end of the year, and that's going to be monumental as well. So let me go ahead and pull the video up for that. Check it out, y'all. All right. As we do every year, we are going to be doing this year again. Our good brother Ross Ben will be returning to do a 2024 year in review, and simultaneously we're going to be visualizing the 9-year, which is 2025. So if you know anything about prophecies that this brother has been able to bring forward to this channel, he's been able to properly envision what the future was going to be utilizing his sacred sciences and whatnot. He's been doing this for a few years on KTL, giving us the quote-unquote calendar of what things are to come or what's to come in the upcoming year and whatnot. So he'll be doing this for 2025. All right. This will be on Monday, December the 30th, ladies and gentlemen, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. This will be on Zoom only. It will be available to our Patreons, and it's also open to the public. I'm going to drop the link right here in the chat. If you want to get your tickets, we have an early bird special. We have an early bird special. So please take advantage of the early bird special. Get your ticket, pull up and be in the building. Brother's gonna bring it. He's gonna be doing his research. He's going to line things up for 2025 through the lens of a master teacher. I look forward to seeing y'all. And of course, I'm gonna be laying it out with my metaphysical lens and whatnot. One of the craziest, most unforgettable years that I've personally lived through, and I'm almost 50, and I promise you 2024 is one for the record books. So I already started putting my presentation together, and the good brother Ross Ben is going to bring the science, and we're going to be in the building to receive that. So make sure you go ahead and get yourself the early bird ticket, and we will see you when you pull up on Monday, December the 30th, from the hours of 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. But of course, you dig? That's the safe time. Knowing that's the safe time. That one might be one of those 5 to 6 hour ones, to be honest with you, because I know what I'm cooking. I'm already like 5 pages deep into my research about the end of it, because so much happened in 2024. I don't want to miss out on cataloging it, because you know, when we go back in time and we got to look back in 2030, you'll be able to look at that video and be like, damn, all of this stuff that's going on now, the seeds were planted in 2024. I get it now. I understand. So yeah, we active, y'all. December is super active for this channel. We're gonna close this year out with a super bang. Press 1 in the chat if you're gonna be at any one of these events, so we know that y'all tapped in and whatnot. I look forward to seeing KTLians and meeting y'all. It's always a beautiful meet and greet. Like I said before, we don't get to meet y'all until we see y'all. You know what I mean? Y'all get to see us, but we don't get to see y'all. So we look forward to these events. It's only right. Do you have anything that you want to share with the family, Blue?
I do. I'm trying to find it. You want to talk to them? I'm just looking through my phone.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so in my segment for the end of the year, I'm going to be covering multiple events from the perspective of, you know, who are the winners and losers. That's very important to point that out. Who are the winners and losers of this year? There are a lot of people took L's this year. Unfortunately, there was a lot of losers. And that's not to be judgmental. It's really just to be a timekeeper and whatnot. Ross Ben is coming from the angle of the quote unquote, you know, the 9-year, the way that he was able to properly predict 2024 when he came through. He laid that out. So he's going to give us the lens to look at this 9-year. 9 is completion, you know, Aquarius, moving into Pluto, you know, a lot of significance between that era, or that no epoch that is just ushering in. We want to have a full understanding about what that's about. So when we see certain things taking place, we're not taken aback. You know what I mean? We can have a better understanding. Similar to when we started 2024 and we were like, yo, this election cycle that's going to be a part of this year, it's going to be a shit cycle. It's going to be a shit show. So if you want to preserve your energy, if you want to just be an observer, let's give you some awareness about what's about to happen. So when it starts happening, you're not all frantic and caught up in your feelings, and they're drawing energy from you like they did to a multitude of people that we all know. Okay. They were eating off of people, spirit cooking, siphoning off all type of energy, you know what I mean? All of this electromagnetic energy. Henceforth, why these wars in the Middle East are being ramped up, because the same people that were pulling that energy, they're weaponizing that energy, and they're using that to strike multiple targets at the same damn time to push their agenda. So yeah, we got to get on our agenda. And the good brother Ross Ben, along with other Ras Ra'aku, the guard,
God.
Chicago Crypto, another predictor, another prophet and whatnot, who's able to peer into the future and get our people properly prepared. He's going to be doing something with Black Magic 363. And we do have an investment project that we're doing with the brother that's highly successful. So a lot is moving in the direction that it needs to move in. We're going to end this one optimistic. Sister Myra said that you might not experience the new timeline if you're not practicing optimism, right? It's not just one thing to say that we're in a new timeline and you're still on your super duper negative, or you're in a pessimistic type of state and you're dealing with this woe is me attitude. Yo, all of the Democrats, y'all should send Kendrick Lamar $1 on his Cash App, because he pulled y'all out of a deep space. Y'all was all falling out, crashing out. Y'all was in a sunken place, and then that album dropped, and then y'all got to go Kendrick Glaze and whatnot, and they don't even talk about Kamala no more. But somebody needed to pull y'all out of that space, and it was Mr. Duckworth.
It was getting bad.
It was getting bad, and here he came with the goddamn huh. Shout out to AA Rashid as well. I heard y'all requests. I had put a poll out there, and they said they wanted AA on the platform. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And I talked to the God, the Kabbalah God. He's in Art Basel right now in Miami, doing it big with the art type, with the artistic shit. But he will be a special guest coming up very soon, and we have a big announcement. Go Blue.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out to the Kabbalah God. And shout out to everybody. I just got I got some bars I want to leave them with.
Oh, you back to that?
Yeah, this is Bombs Over Damascus.
Oh, wow.
I got a piece for them.
You want that beat? You want that scary shit?
Nah.
Go ahead, man.
Blood spilling in the streets of the Middle East. My timeline like get real. They seen that shit spill since Isaac and Ishmael. They go together, Pyrex and fish scale, fighting these kids' will till the big wheel stops spinning. It's permanently built into their religion. Come here and listen. Abraham had a son with his concubine. Hagar, she birthed him Ishmael. Then Rebekah gave birth to Isaac, and Isaac becomes the father of Israel. Ishmael was laying down in Canaan, that's modern-day Palestine. Joseph down in Egypt with a land divine. His own brothers dumped him in the wishing well to fleece him of his birthright. You heard right and read the words right. The book is a document of deception, aggression, kiss and tell. Cutthroat tactics from brethren to brethren. That duty a curse to get the blessings. Infidels. All the while, Jehovah turns a blind eye to these indiscretions when he can end it in a second with his blessings if he's choosing. But he seems to thrive in confusion to his amusement, using the excuse of free will to promote evil. Eve snake Adam, Cain kill Abel. Light uncovered the plot in Sodom where men wanted to lay with angels. Before they could reach the daytime, God called in the drones, commenced the first hate crimes, leveled those towns, turned them into parking lots. The sofa's hot. Wifey turn around and turns to salt on spot. Then Noah builds an ark, and depending on what chapter of Genesis you remember this story, the Lord, he told him take either 2 or 7 of each animal and get ready for 40 day and nights at sea with rabid beasts. But somehow him and his peeps don't manage to eat none of this meat. And the animals who are usually hunting one another for weeks now coexist in peace. And that's not comic relief. Back to the Canaanites, Israel's Aelites. So Noah, after following the orders of Jehovah and saving the world with a do-over, gets drunk as a skunk and his son sees his junk. His embarrassment leads to an abuse of power because Noah's ass must have had Jehovah's staff because he cursed the seeds of his own son, knowing that the punishment didn't fit the crime. And shouldn't this be about a grown-ass man who couldn't handle his own wine? But this whole time, his mind is becoming drunk off the power of being God's favorite. So you play with the favor that comes from the pact you made with Creator and curse the seed of Canaan. And your son's been going ham on a melanated man ever since. Negligence on the part of the very ones who were supposed to represent righteousness. In spite of this, house divided, you and me been catching hell from a spell cast on our black ass due to frontal nudity. Truthfully, did he hurt his pride when he wasn't circumcised? Set the curse aside after 400 years and we find ourselves here in a foreign land. Was it all a plan? Our date with destiny transpired in 2019. We ain't even notice it. Then COVID hit. It might seem we missed our mark, but what's wonderful is our blessings coming too, like we disembarked off the ark. Musically, we was jamming with Club Quarantine. During Jubilee, Daystar kept the flame spark. During lockdown, his lives was how the block sound. Took the streets en masse to protest George Floyd. Allies was apologetic on all fours, giving us whatever was called for. Everything but justice, that is. Then the jab came, uppercuts to the wig, body blows to the ribs, warp speed on the fast lane, all aboard, last train. Rollout was targeted to indigenous communities who had original immunity. The fact that all of a sudden they became a priority is lunacy. Usually they're the last to get a hand from Uncle Sam, but coincidentally, he wouldn't tempt me to be the guinea so he can send me to my creator speedballing in a Hemi. Is this him finally loving thy neighbor? Barely, and the most vaccinated population was Israelis. 4 doses for the chosen ones, Zionists like Bullseye, hole in one. Membership in his global cabal have dual citizenship, and when it comes to the law, they penmanship make it intricate. Sold contracts forced to enter it, and we bound to it. Imprisonment. They controlling the ball and bringing the pill up to court, invading shores to build up a fort. Look, the rich want to kill off the poor. Lord of mercy, firstly, we at the mercy of whoever got their hands up the back of Biden. They got plans for attacking Iran. About to go from island to Cayenne. Things are heating up with the finance, funding wars on multiple fronts. The number of poor grow by the month. They sending jobs overseas, replacing the labor force with invading hordes crossing the border. What's stopping an invading force with rocket mortars? They got their orders, lots of slaughter, sleeper cells, releasing hell in God's country. The mob's hungry, bloodthirsty, unearthly. Archons archons riding spaceships. They say we war not against flesh, but principalities in high places, like we were shown in the Matrix. Planet Earth, this the home of hatred. Blood spilling in the streets of the Middle East. My timeline, like, get real. They seen that shit spill since Isaac and Ishmael. Fighting these kids' will till the big wheel stops spinning. It's permanently built into their religion. Come here and listen. I got bars for days. So that's like verse 1.
To this day.
Nah, you can't be serious.
To this day.
Yeah, that's like verse 1. Got more to go, but
pen is throwing up. The pen is throwing up.
Yeah, just real quick, Hamites from the land of Mizraim were the first foes of the Hebrews and the Hittites and Philistines. Then they was banging on any tribe out of Canaan. They doing today to the Palestinians what they did yesterday to the native Indian, and using Genesis to justify killing innocent citizens. I know y'all seen the images. Religion is the opiate of the mind. This build is appropriate for the time. A window into my copious mind. Notice the signs that all around you. Round 2. Isaac benefited from the favoritism of his father, who didn't bother with his firstborn. Not a curse strong. Jacob stole the birthright of Esau. Now we on a seesaw going up and down. Joseph gets snaked. Moses gets sent up the lake. By the time Jesus came, the Sanhedrin claimed they're going to expose him as a fake. The Romans nail him to the stake, and they are custodians of the faith to this day. Peter battled Thomas for the church. That's why today we in bondage to the church. Thomas was the first in line to get signed. He was supposed to make it big time, but his time got cut short, and everything afterwards been a blood sport. What you expect when you elect the same sect who ran the Colosseum? Now the Middle Eastern is an open air mausoleum. The stench of death is the sin of breaths of the Semites and the Hamites, and they both bomb babies over land rights. And if you think this shit crazy, you damn right. Anne Rice couldn't write a more compelling horror. I pour libations to heaven's martyrs and welcome the return of Michael, accompanied by the legions prepared to do war with the demons, because the inmates have overrun the asylum. They wildin'. 30 million head of bison. It ain't like genociders unlike them. Halloween, you should be frightened. If this war is heightened, the world ends up fighting to fulfill the dreams of religious hype men, hyping the clash of titans. The U.S. squad versus Gog and Magog. Evangelicals and Zionists, 10 toes, raining fire and brimstones like it's hell above. Iron fists and velvet gloves. Follow the trail of bloods. Coalitions coexisting and know the mission to fulfill biblical prophecy to control religion. They comparing us
to this day. To this day.
They preparing us as they run out of time. They have to bow out for the age of Aquarius. The kingdom is coming. The stage is set. And remember, Uranus is just another name for heaven. And with that,
I can't even spit my ignorant shit, man. I can't even. Bars.
Yeah. And that wasn't even the one I was looking for. And
That wasn't even it, right?
I'm in my feelings because I got one that's so cold-blooded, and I was like, the spirit must be like,
not yet, nigga. Yeah, warm them up first. You know what I'm saying? You trying to go right into
put that on GNX too. Don't do that.
Yeah. I was listening to some beats last night, some GNX beats. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I just be having stuff in my pad that just gotta get into the world because it's too much.
Yeah, that's how
I be accumulating too much content, and I be looking for the right time and space to use it, and sometimes it don't happen. So I got bars for days that they need to breathe.
Moving shrooms through Gotham. Hey, hold on.
Now don't do
moving shrooms through Gotham like I'm Oz Cobb. That was my black job, leader of the black mob. Hold on. Nah, I ain't gonna go ignorant. I'm gonna let you hold on to that. You and your all white. I'm gonna let you stick with that.
Yeah. Keep it, sacrilegious Sunday, but keep it,
Nah. We gonna let you take that. You know what I mean? You don't need too many people on that stage. You did your thing. You cooked that. Somebody say you should design that. The AI, the AI rendition. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with it all. Like
AI.
I said, it's just my thoughts, and I sit around and I observe the way things go, and the way that I keep my saneness together is I have to capture these thoughts into bars, and then once I capture them on page and I put them into prose, I can make sense of it. Other than that, it'd be an ongoing conversation in my head that sounds crazy because my mind wants to compose it and construct it so I can see it and not, you know what I mean? But there's nothing, there's nothing better for me than seeing it in beauty, even if it's horror. What did I say? I make beautiful. What was my joint? I make beautiful art out of horror scenes. Yeah,
right.
I think that sums it up perfectly. I make beautiful art out of horror scenes. So when something is really, you know what I mean, like horrible, and it just I'm abhorring what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I gotta put it into bars, and then I can contain it. You know what I'm saying? I can stand over it as opposed to it being over you. And being weighty. The bars are weighty when they're floating. When you put them on paper and you put them on prose, it's almost like lifting the weights. You know what I'm saying? Then you're in control, and you can now the bars are bendable.
That's a fact.
You can do with them as you choose. Now you can paint these narratives. Now you've brought something to life. You know what I'm saying? And some perspectives can be so perplexing that they escape our rational mind, and then the shit can really wig you out if you don't get control of it. So that's what poetry or spoken word or just writing bars and poetic prose does for me.
What about the poetry book? Is that on its way? The poetic prose tabletop?
It's finished. Like I have a whole book that's finished. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost embarrassing because it's been so finished that the minute I finished it, that's when I started like doing another album or writing a whole nother
good
book of poetry. But it's finished. I'll be putting it out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Look forward to that.
Yeah. Top of next year.
Look forward to that.
It's called I Think Very Deeply.
It's called I Think Very Deeply.
Yeah. And it's dope. I don't know if you was in the studio when they was going through the whole BDP playlist yesterday.
Yeah, and we was playing My Philosophy.
Yeah,
I was there.
So I annotated a lot of the book with quotes that come from KRS-One. And My Philosophy in particular, I spoke about how monumental that song was in my life. It was a pinnacle point. It was a pinnacle moment of my life.
Because Scott LaRock had just got killed, and we didn't know hip hop was dead.
And it hurt us as fans of the music. Never met Scott LaRock a day in our life, but we felt so connected to BDP. You know, KRS-One being one of our favorite artists.
Right.
And we were
that was
living
the first rapper that got killed.
Yeah, that was the first rapper that got killed. And I remember emotionally we went through that whole, he got killed? What you mean?
We couldn't fathom what that meant.
Yeah,
like, what do you mean?
We couldn't fathom what it meant. It's like he's finished. He ain't gonna be here no more. So he's like, damn, that's crazy.
We couldn't process that as young kids.
And then he came out, then he came out with the Philosophy video, black and white, with the Jeep. Nigga, that was a paradigm shifting moment in our life. And
wasn't it?
Yeah, that song, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that I owe a lot to that song. You feel me? I really, really fell in love with hip hop because of that song. I really fell in love with hip hop. I mean, I've always been in love with hip hop, but KRS-One.
Yeah, that was it. That was one
of
them.
Yeah, he did something different.
Even yesterday, listening to it, I think very deeply.
That's my joint. And
very deeply.
You know, I've spoken like as a student in class, being able to figure out how to use certain English words. That was my go-to song. It was that song, and it was that other song. Is that the same song where he had the races and the different black men? He had the ice cones, the ice cream cones, and it was different colors of races. Anyway, this nigga was called a teacher for a reason, and the way that he taught in his music, I was able to figure out how to use English words during English class to put them shits in sentences and paragraphs. You feel me? And I attribute Rakim and KRS-One with my proficiency in English outside of my father, you know, teaching us English and making us read the New York Times at the age of 9. KRS-One, you know, played an instrumental role in his education, putting his education in his music. You know what I'm saying? Or what they call, putting the medicine
and the candy. I want to leave y'all because y'all might think that this is, but the blessings, they coming strong, man. It's like everywhere that I go, I'm going into venues and doors are opening up, opportunities are opening up. You know, the blessings are raining down. So, you know how they say when you stay 10 toes down.
Roll off. You can't roll everything out at once in front of people. You're inundating them. Allow people to bite one thing at a time and chew, my nigga, please.
Right.
Roll shit out when it's ready. If you ain't learned nothing else about 2024, right? And I, because everybody else is doing GNX decoding. I drop unexpectedly like bird shit. That comes off of what song?
I don't know.
Kick in the door, waving the 4-4, right? And the fact that you don't know means that you should chill. And GNX was 44 minutes long, right? He drops unexpectedly like bird shit, right? But you got your shit together. He don't drop unexpectedly, then put the rhymes up, then do to this, then do to that. No, he do all of his back office shit first, right? And drops unexpectedly and catches the world off guard and runs his numbers up. He's dressed for the party, you know what I'm saying? And he's breaking records.
Right.
Yeah, properly roll out your shit. You could drop unexpectedly, but do your back office work first, my nigga, so that people can receive what you're offering them. You know what I'm saying?
What you talking about, my workshop?
I don't know what you finna roll out and hit them with.
You know how you gonna talk about what, bro?
Because I had
don't let me drop you from this live. Don't let me do that.
I got an expectation of where you headed. I'm listening to your narrative and your build.
Yeah,
what you about to hit him with?
I got a workshop coming up in January at the New Black Wall Street for the apparel. What you want me to do? Not say it? What the fuck you talking about? I'm supposed to not say something? There's something that's coming up, and there's people that's out there that need a workshop. They've been asking about a workshop. I've been on this channel telling them for months about what Nashawn and Jefferson is going to be doing with us. And then I went to Black Wall Street, and that door opened up the other day. Like, what can I do? My hands is full. Like, what can I can't help it.
You gonna stop?
I'm
my apologies.
Yeah.
I thought
like,
you
humble
was going,
yourself.
I thought you was going somewhere else with it. And I kind of think you know what I'm talking about. Right? There's a lot of opportunities, and there's a lot of doors, there's a lot of avenues. You feel me? And I thought that you was going to express something else about another situation. But yes, please, inform them about the workshop coming up in January. I look forward to that. That's dope. With clothes making.
Yeah.
So get into
because like one thing that I realized that a lot of people may have not been able to receive, because I've been on Instagram over the past few months when I was doing my research, just receiving the fundamentals of how to get into certain things. You dig what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, they like to, they see things happening, but they don't know how to get into it. And I get a lot of inboxes where people are like, yo, Red, I'm going through some financial. Do you have any advice for me? I want to get into this industry. I want to pop into this industry. And it's like, the best thing that you could give people is an actual, what do they call that? You could walk them through by showing them the hands-on experience. So once again, one of the things that I'm bringing to the people, because I've done this all of my life with making clothes and whatnot, all of my adult life, I've been manufacturing and making clothes. And coming down here, I've come across people who I've been inspired by. A brother makes sneakers and whatnot. And I've always wanted to do that.
Super dope, right?
You feel me? Yeah. And I've always seen people doing it, and I didn't know how it was done. And then he actually brought me into that world and showed me the manufacturing. Even with Jefferson, with this drip, all of this fly shit, you know what I mean? Like just seeing that process, it kind of inspired me to be like, there is more to this thing that I thought I figured it all out. There is more to it and whatnot.
I like that hat.
Yeah, it's the Nashawn, the same brother that does the sneakers. He put this together.
Yeah.
And for the parents out there, especially in 2025, when everybody's talking about their resolutions and everything, I just want to get ahead of the conversation and the noise and whatnot, and let people know that there's an opportunity at a venue that needs opportunity, like the new Black Wall Street, a melanated property. This is Black people running things in Stonecrest. The billionaire founder, he made transition right before the gathering of the masses and whatnot.
Yes.
And I'm
bringing
Mr. Allen. Rest in peace, Mr. Bill Allen. And I brought a proposal to them to share my vision, and they were excited about it. And they were like, yo, how soon can you start? And I was like, I don't want to start right away. Based on what you said, Blue, I was like, my December is packed. I don't want to stack too much on the plate. But in January, let's start the beginning of the New Year's and whatnot. So we're going to be bringing a workshop on the t-shirt business, the apparel business and whatnot to the residents of New Black Wall Street. And I really want the children to kind of get into this, because it's not a hard learning curve. You know what I mean? I really want the youth and some of the elders. Like if you're retired and whatnot, and you want to, you see people wearing shirts with sayings on it, and you don't think that you could be a part of that. We're going to let you see how you could be a part of this $1 trillion industry. One of the main things, like you were saying, like look how you did the 100 bars and whatnot, and you were saying that you get frustrated when you can't get those bars out sometimes. Like your therapy is writing. It's utilizing the fact that your imagination is saying, I got to get this on paper, and then I got to get this in the booth, and then I got to get this in front of the people. Some people are laying around with they got designs in their head. They got artwork, art pads that have been laying around for years and whatnot. So we just want to assist, because the technology has stepped up. It's not as hard as it used to be. So this is a quick commercial from our sponsors about what's coming up in January. But like Blue said, we'll talk about it more as we get closer to it. We're just going to give you some insight as to what's happening. Peace, love, and light to the family, brother. Red Pill reporting live and direct. Yes, they say it's not how you start the race, it's how you finish it. And we're gonna finish this year with more blessings and more blessings and more blessings, more opportunities. Starting in January 2025, me, the good brother Jefferson, and my good brother Nashawn Lee, we will be holding workshops at the New Black Wall Street, helping to empower our brothers and sisters to become entrepreneurs. We're gonna teach you how to utilize a heat press machine, a vinyl cutter, and a little bit of elbow grease and some imagination to turn things around and turn you into a millionaire. Yeah, you heard it right. Peekaboo. If this is something that you want to get into, make sure you comment peekaboo in the comments and we will send you a link. Peace, love, and light. Happy holidays. Peekaboo. Don't put peekaboo in this chat. This is for my Instagram. I have like an automated thing. Don't fall for that.
Next time I see you, I need my Solar Flare shirt. How about that?
Peekaboo. I think it's somewhere in the box. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
That's what's in the
box. But yes, another touchdown too. Yeah, I'm gonna have some good news about the wool, the hemp, the cashmere, and the linen. I've made some breakthroughs towards that. I promise you, Blue, the way that they hiding that information from the people, they are gatekeeping super fabrics like an MFer. I had no idea until I went looking. They are they trying to put niggas in sheen and polyester forever. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you already know.
Yeah, but we making some breakthroughs, and I don't want to let the cat out the bag, but I'll keep y'all informed. But yeah, New Black Wall Street in January. We're gonna do this. It'll be like a 4-hour workshop, very affordable, super duper affordable. But I really want to be doing this I want to go on the road and teach homeschoolers and teach like senior citizens and whatnot, and brothers who are just coming home, brothers and sisters, of course, who need this type of entrepreneurial information. I'm gonna show y'all. We're gonna do it all together. We're gonna make clothes together. You know what I mean? Because we cannot gatekeep this information, huh?
Peekaboo.
So that's what that is. You know what I mean? Cotton reparations, y'all. Cotton reparations. So yeah, with that being said, I think that we are at the end of this episode. I don't want to go over the 3-hour mark. Because that algorithm, it's this YouTube shit, you know what I mean? They be hating on too much of a long content. But let them know where they could tap in with you. Let them know where they could find you. If you have any producers that may want to reach out to you.
Yeah, you can holler at me, send some beats to bluepillar44 at Gmail, bluepillar44 at Gmail, or you could DM me on IG at bluepillar44, right? You can get the latest book that I have out, Gold Body Challenge. It's an ebook, a 42-page ebook. It's over on Gumroad, or you can access the link directly through either Red's Buy Me a Coffee or the link in my bio on my IG, or like I said, you can go straight to Gumroad. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, goldwater.com, GOLDEWATER, and for the jewelry and the drip and everything, cosmicdust.com. That's COZMIKDUST.com. All right, so that's me and Blue Dream. We over there cooking up. She got the jewelry for the women. I got the drip for the men. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you're standing on business. We still got a sale going on. You feel me? So you can pull up on us at any of our sites and holler at us. We highly appreciate it. Again, this has been an amazing opportunity to have a bill. I didn't realize how much I missed this. I really appreciate y'all. I love the feedback. You know what I mean? And we're gonna be consistent. We're gonna bring the news. We're gonna bring, you know what I mean? Just the perspective. You know, anything that I feel will aid and assist and clarity. You know what I mean? Us seeing the game for what it is, being able to optimistically navigate and move into 25 with a level of optimism that's going to magnetize the life, the world, the reality that you're looking for. I feel great about what we're heading into.
Yeah.
And I just know that we just shouldn't be game goofy, on the way there. Um, Hopefully, the things that we're seeing take place in the culture, hopefully this is an opportunity for us to really capture and curate, right, intentionally, how we deal with our culture, who we let in, what we willing to turn a blind eye to, and what we need to stomp out aggressively. You feel me? I had when I was on this program last time, I did not delve into the fullness of the Andrew Schultz comments. I just saw the commentary. I saw the commentary on it, but I actually after the show, what I mean, something popped up, and I sat there and listened to that filth, that nonsense, um, and I was appalled. I was totally like, wait, what? You on mute?
Rightfully so. He's completely out of line. And I love the trap that he stepped in, though. It's such a good way to wrap this year up. It's such a cherry on the top, you know, um, to just go into alignment what we talked about on the last show with that whole battle represented ultimately, not just the bird's eye, I mean the worm's eye view of it, the bird's eye view of the whole thing about these people that are considered to be, guests in our house and how we have to deal with them moving forward and what we not going for versus what we allow to
And
occur.
the same way that we have acquiesced and allowed them in the house in the culture is the same way globally, that they have been allowed in the house of the family of nations, and what, they're dragging mud into, the house. They have not taken their shoes off. They have not been respectful of the Persian white carpet. You know what I'm saying? They are totally destroying and decimating the sanctity of our proverbial global home, and a lot needs to change. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully these are the things that are going to signal at least some change to some degree. You feel me? The people need to wake up and smell the coffee, see this thing for what it is.
My thing is about capturing the narrative. Um, it's about capturing the narrative. You feel me? And that's what's most important. You feel me? Because I see them trying to already play around with the narrative.
Are they playing with it?
You feel me?
They're playing with it. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's juxtaposition. They're playing with the juxtaposition. If you can't, why can't I? Because you not me, right? And again, it's unfortunate that they got to point it out the way that they are. Like, yo, but this is how y'all carry on with y'all people. You know what I'm saying? Why
Right.
don't I get the opportunity to do the same?
Right.
And it's like, damn, that's so distasteful. And because we have not regulated, you know what I mean? We haven't dealt with the disrespect. I listened to Dream Champs with Dre and Snoop on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like Snoop about to have another run.
Right.
You feel me? And there's little to nothing that can be done about that. And we know what the legacy is. But here they are talking about they want to get back and they want to, you know what I'm saying, reestablish culture in these communities and things of that nature. And it's like, nah, the damage that has been done to the brand has been irreparable. But yet the people who are, the ones that have done the damage are still welcome guests in our house.
Right.
So the weirdos, yeah, they're from the outside looking in. And again, they come into the house with all of the weird acculturation. Let me make sure that that's the right word. I'll go using these big words again, right? They're acculturated in their communities to play the games that they play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And because we want to be around them and invite them in, right? Acculturation is assimilation to a different culture, typically the dominant one. So we have been acculturated into their weird culture and their weird society. You feel me? Even if they're coming over to our quote unquote culture and attempting or pretending to be guessing it, right? They still have the benefit of being part of dominant culture to a degree where we're breaking ourselves because of integration and we want to get up under Americanism. And hip hop has become a vehicle that you can observe how that process is taking place. You know what I'm saying? And the exception has become the rule, and the rule has now become the exception. So there's a few people that are resistant, and there's a lot more people who aren't, right? Because either they don't know the history or they are acquiescing and totally putting down their level of quote unquote blackness for whatever that means.
I got you, bro.
To put on the veneer of Americanism.
So, right on par with the last conversation we had on Friday, and you said that the J train is coming. This is breaking news. This article dropped today. I'm not gonna dive into it tonight. I'm just leaving this as the cliffhanger. We'll deal with this on Melanin Mondays tomorrow as we get more information and as the story unfolds and whatnot. But I'm just gonna leave it with this, that this is probably one of the first shots at Jay-Z by tying him in with Diddy in a lawsuit. So we'll read the paperwork and we'll see what everything what all of this means, and we'll get into it mañana.
Sean 2X.
Sean 2X, y'all. You dig?
Man.
So with that being said, I want to say thank you for your time and your attention, everybody in the building. Thank you for your time and attention as well, Blue. And
Yes, sir. I appreciate it as well.
To it.
Yes, thank you, family. All right.
Indeed, no doubt. Peace, y'all. Peace, love, and light. We're gonna end this one with the Facts remix. You heard? We'll see you on Monday. Peace.
Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to Melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we're stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love. To the family, peace, love, and light. To the family, peace, love, and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.